You don't know what's out there.
That's why I would go.
Hi, and welcome back to Wild Dream, where we give you the freshest takes on the latest movies. My name is David.
And my name is Daniel.
And we're back. We didn't take a break this time. I just like saying we're back. We're back with another review. This is we talked about this on the last episode a little bit, that people have been talking about May being the month of horror. Mm-hmm. So we took a little bit of a reprieve. I just want to say this. There are some people saying no one went to go see Boots Riley's movie. We did.
We sure did.
So don't you dare come after us. We watched I Love Boosters, and we reviewed it, and we liked it.
And Boots Riley is on Twitter just going absolutely bonkers.
We actually had some really good trivia.
Yeah,
from
and he's
movie.
telling everyone to go see the movie and is revealing a lot of behind the scenes of how this works, and it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
And so he's really putting himself out there trying to promote it as best as he can. So shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Yeah, every video I've seen of him, I'm just like, man, this guy really does love film.
Yeah, he's
like,
cool.
This is not like a random pivot from music. Like, he really enjoys film a lot and understands it very deeply. So
for sure. So yeah, we pivoted. We went to go see Boots Riley rather than the horror movie that weekend. And I already read you guys Mo's review on the horror movie Passenger, and also, yeah, I think we made the right choice.
Yeah. But we're back with more horror adventures.
We got horror adventures, and this one is
the month of horror.
This one's a very, very massive movie culturally.
Culturally, yes,
and
huge title in the horror era.
Huge
horror genre.
This is one of the most terminally online.
So true.
Type of horror movies, because we just went to see Backrooms, and
I haven't even seen the front rooms yet.
I haven't even seen Backroom. Very interesting. I just want to say, by the way, speaking of this film.
Cinema.
So if you've seen any of the promotional stuff for promotion, I don't know why I said it like that.
If you guys seen it,
if you guys seen any promotional stuff for
have you seen any promotional stuff in a movie?
Now I'm just thinking of a Philadelphia act. Like,
oi, dude, you see a freaky promotion?
Dude, so if you guys seen any promotional stuff for this movie, so first and foremost,
season 3. We can do Pit season 3. We're from Pittsburgh,
so like Kane Parsons is like a big deal out here or something.
Deal.
So
go up there, big shit though.
Any of the promo stuff has been like the trailers and the poster and all that stuff. The font that they use is like the kind of Apple font. It reminds me of the Apple font, if that makes sense. It's like Helvetica,
right?
You know, it's like that kind of. I don't know if it is. It looks like Helvetica. So, which is a very just boring font. But then they have their own typeface for the film in the movie that is way more interesting and cool.
Yeah, that actually looks like the Backrooms.
Yeah, I was like, why was this not? Anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting.
I just looked at it. It does look exactly like Helvetica.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
so yeah, it's just kind of funny that they really. I don't know why they didn't use that in the promotion. When we get our fucking Backrooms, can you imagine a Wild Dream Backrooms?
Oh my God. Yeah, it would be terrifying. No, we need to be like, listen, I'm not saying give us a shot at a feature film. Okay, we're not Kane Parsons. We're not that level. You know, we haven't posted an entire mini series of short films that we animated in Blender and like, you know, whatever. You know, we're not even Curry Barker. You know, we haven't finished any skits we've ever filmed. We've never finished them. Did we film some on some high quality camera with a good audio? Yes, we have. Uh-huh. Those are probably gone, honestly.
Yeah.
But what we are ready for is at least a segment on VHS. I think we deserve it.
I agree, actually.
We have earned it.
Not only, for what we've done for that, the water we have carried for that franchise. I think that we've been a fan of that series since the very first one in the early 2010s. So that's, that, and we should absolutely get a shot at making a segment of VHS. That would be awesome. That's our goal.
Shudder, reach out, please. Shudder.
I said that's our goal, and our goal previously was to get a Shudder sponsorship,
for this,
and we couldn't. We would never even be able to do that.
So now we're asking to be able to shoot a short film.
We're just like
for their platform.
Nah, you know what? New price.
By the way,
price was not today's.
Not releasing our current short film that we had.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Backrooms. I feel like we have to start with.
A bit.
Actually,
let's start with some trailers.
I'm about to say before we even get into the Backrooms, let's start with some trailers because we got there early.
We got to see almost every single trailer,
and we have just a new slate of trailers.
That's also true.
Like so,
yeah, because all the movies that we've been seeing these trailers for have already come out.
Yeah, thank God, man. So new slate of trailers. The one I wanted to point out specifically is a movie called Onslaught that we saw the trailer for. It's an A24 film, and it looks the most unlike any A24 film ever because it is very, very zany and like it looks like a Jason Statham movie.
Oh, okay. 100% agree.
Okay.
When I saw that trailer, the first thing I thought, I'm so dead ass about this. It's about like a super soldier being created in a lab and they're going to be released on the public. So this like, retired veteran woman soldier is going to have to take up her arms and defend their community, whatever. I dead ass thought that super soldier was going to be Jason Statham. He was going to get hit and the mask was going to come off and he was going to turn and go, I am. I was like, this is a Jason Statham movie. Like,
who I am.
This I'm is Onslaught. It's like if you combined a Jason Statham movie with a Jason Bourne or American Ultra, one of those movies. Like it was that like bad.
Yeah.
Which I like American Ultra, by the way.
It looked... because it was so odd for being an A24 film, that was already like, wait, what is this? And then as it kept going, I was like, is this a parody film? Like I was so confused by the tone of it, and even the premise of it is just so goofy. And it's interesting. It's directed by Adam Wingard, who, speaking of VHS, that was our first introduction to him, but he is known probably these days as the director of the Godzilla and Kong series.
Which they promoted on the trailer. They were like, hey, this is the guy who made the Godzilla vs. Kong. I was like, Those movies famously not good. Like, they're not good movies. They're just exciting, fun action flicks in which 99% of the appeal to that movie is the CGI. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying directors have nothing to do with the CGI. I'm just saying, it's a little bit less work than what they're doing on a set.
Yeah, so it was so fucking weird. This was such a weird trailer, weird movie to exist. Can't believe it's A24. And I really wanted to point out how much I fucking hated the last part of this trailer.
This tag, this is the recency bias, the last thing you remember about this movie.
Exactly, right?
Got to get this in before the end of the trailer.
So the person who's the main character who's defending her land from the super soldier, she has her daughter right next to her, and she's like reloading her gun or something, and she goes, "Sweetie, close your ears. Mom's about to say some bad things." Something like that, right?
Right.
And then it's a shot of her aiming her gun and about to Scarface fire, and she goes, "Bring it on, bitch."
Which,
and then it's
like,
onslaught, slash across the screen. And I was like, look, if you're going to tee it up, you better say cunt. You know what I'm saying?
And also, can I just say this? How about close your ears, my 5-year-old daughter, because I'm about to shoot a gun.
Also that, yeah. I'm just like,
what?
They didn't even go fuck. They didn't even say,
She didn't even say fuck, bring it on, bitch.
Yeah, because we had a couple of, are they called red band trailers?
Yeah.
We had a couple of red band trailers as well. So I think this was one of them. If I remember correctly, that could be wrong. But
I think so, because it showed a little bit of gore.
If it was a red band trailer, it means they can say fuck. So it's just so funny that she
bring it on, bitch.
Just bring it on, bitch. But, now is that worse than, I don't think it's as bad as the trailer trope of going, what the fuck? Cut.
Yeah.
I hate that
Yeah.
so much.
You remember when they were, this was years ago, when they were promoting that movie Black Christmas. And that was like the big thing that she like cocks her gun and aims it and goes, "Merry Christmas, mother." I'm like,
It's
okay,
so
man.
cheesy, dude.
That was like 10 years ago or something. When was Black Christmas?
That feels like a really long time ago.
I feel like I saw this trailer at the first Paranormal Activity movie. I don't know why that's part of my memory for this.
Damn. And that would have been Paranormal Activity. How far back does that go? 08, 09, 010 is the area I'm thinking.
Okay, it's not like unlike, like not impossible that this is true that it was Paranormal Activity, because Paranormal Activity was 2007 and Black Christmas was 2006.
Okay.
So I mean, obviously that movie came out before, so I don't know why there would be a trailer for that movie. I don't know. Maybe I saw it on the DVD.
Maybe.
For Paranormal Activity, because that was back like in the Redbox era. Who remembers Redbox?
Yeah, they're still going. Dude, I was scrolling Reddit, and I do Reddit for our part 2s all the time, right?
Right.
So they know I'm into film, and so they'll just give me random film subgenres, subreddits, and one of them is like Redbox Daily Haul. It's like people posting, "Hey, look what I found on Reddit." I'm like, damn, people are still using these, huh? So it's kind of fascinating.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I could not believe this Onslaught trailer. Now we got another trailer too, a new trailer for a new biopic with
that
Robert.
we're actually excited for.
Yeah, they're actually excited. It's a really good trailer, and it's for Robert Pattinson stars as Chris Hansen, and I'm assuming it's a really good trailer because it doesn't really show you anything,
right,
while giving you tidbits. And the style of it was really cool. It was a quad screen thing that they kept doing, and then it turns into a bunch of analog TVs at the end.
Yeah.
And it was a very well done trailer. Creates a lot of, like, what do you call it? Like, intrigue. It creates a lot of intrigue and mystery.
Because it's called prime time, and the way the trailer is produced is like showing like live broadcast television room, like a room for live broadcast where they have all the screens of all the different camera angles that they have and stuff. Yeah. So it was like doing that while also playing this voiceover or whatever, and then it ends with him saying, "I'm Chris Hansen," and you go, "Oh shit, this is about To Catch a Predator," So
yeah,
like if you know anything about To Catch a Predator, if you know anything like, and that's the thing is it's like a biopic, but I'm also like, I don't know anything about Chris Hansen or how he got involved with that or how that started or what happened to him after that show, whatever. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to see because it's not Michael fucking Jordan or Michael fucking Jackson.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude, I saw a reel recently. We talk about this on the podcast sometimes that we feel like we live in a different world than other people. Like when I found out that M3gan 2 made more money than Hereditary, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What? Like it was like insane to me, right? Mm-hmm. And then recently, I went to go see The Sheep Detective. If you want to know my rating for it, it's like a 6 out of 10 family-friendly movie, probably like a 1 out of 10 regular movie. It's really bad. It's a family-friendly movie. But I went to a 2 p.m. Wednesday showing of The Sheep Detective. 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. It was 100% sold out.
The Sheep. I didn't even.
The entire theater.
I had never heard of this movie. By the way,
0 empty seats. I had 2 strangers to my left and right. By the way, and I went to go see this movie because I was like, it's a little like pick me up, just don't think about it too hard kind of movie.
AMC Stubbs member.
I'm trying to get my benefits worth. I'm trying to get my movies in. I saw the Mortal Kombat 2, by the way. If anybody wants to talk to me about it, come over to Wild Dream Stream while we're streaming. I'll talk to you about Mortal Kombat 2.
There you go.
But yeah, I just like I was shocked by that. So we live in a different world than other people do, where The Sheep Detective sells out theaters.
Yeah.
And I'm finding out that like this Michael Jackson movie is like on par to be one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Like it's on track to do that right now.
That's pretty insane. Yeah.
There were people like there was this girl posting about it, how saying that she works at a movie theater and a woman was coming in to see the movie and she was like, "Oh, you're coming to see that? The movie's really good. I've seen it 9 times." And
oh my God.
And the woman said, "You have? This is my 6th time." And she was like,
"Wait,
no.
6'9"?
you know, no, look it up.
Dude.
No, Google it. No, seriously, Google it.
No.
Dude, don't go. Dude, seriously, Google. Don't. Yes, Google.
Yeah,
that. Google
Google
that.
blow.
But yeah, she was like, the point of her video was she was like, don't feel shame for being a rewatcher of a movie. Like, if you rewatch a movie in theaters multiple times, like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I was like, yeah, I agree. I saw Project Hail Mary 3 times in theaters. We saw Obsession twice. I saw Bring Her Back twice.
Yeah.
A lot of movies we go see for the pod, and then I go take Taylor to it. So I end up seeing the movie twice a lot of the time. But yeah, I was just like, okay, that's fair. 9 times.
Yeah.
The movie's only in theaters for like 30 days.
That's over 2 weeks of
that's
AMC
only been
Stubs benefits.
Yeah, it's 4 movies a week.
Yeah.
And she works there, so she gets unlimited movies, I assume.
Just put it into perspective.
But yeah, like 4, you saw it 9. I can't imagine watching anything 9 times in like 2, because that movie hasn't been out for 30 days. It's only been out for like 2 weeks. In 14 days, you saw a movie 9. I can't imagine watching anything 9 times in 40. Like a 2-hour movie. What the fuck, man? But we live in a different world. We don't live in the world where, like, in our minds, we're like, dude, Backrooms, that has to be what everyone in this theater is here to see. When we went to the theater and it was packed. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh yeah, I forgot about fucking Grogu. Like, it was
Grogu's still popping off.
Like, in our minds, we're like, the Backrooms is a huge deal.
And our theater was packed.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying it's not. It is a huge deal, but I'm just saying, like, we don't really think about what else in the world is a huge deal to people outside of the world that we live in, where, you know, this Backrooms movie is extremely anticipated, and like we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, the new slate of trailers was cool. Yeah, there was also there's a new Evil Dead movie coming out. Trailer wasn't bad. It was a little long. It wasn't terrible. I'm not super into the Evil Dead franchise, not gonna lie.
I don't even think I've seen any of them. You said that the last one you saw.
The last one I saw was absolutely worth an AMC Stubs watch.
Right.
If that's the best way I could say it. Like, it would be better.
You told me, it's funny because at the time you told me this is one of the bloodiest movies I've ever seen. And it was like 2 weeks later we watched The Sadness and you were like, there's actually no blood in that movie.
Right. Which I'm now a 4K owner of. Yeah, the last one was, it was fine. It was
Vinegar
fine.
Syndrome version, by the way.
Yeah, true.
4K.
Yeah, special slipcover. And so that one was a pretty decent little trailer. It was kind of cool. But and then also there was that trailer for the period piece horror movie.
Okay,
and it uses Die Spitz, and I love that song "Fall on Your Sword." But it was a really cringy trailer to me. I also thought, for the first half, can I admit something?
Go ahead.
I'm racist against white women because
finally someone said
no, the first half of that trailer, I was like, oh my God, I thought that was Emmy Rossum. The whole time I thought that was Emmy Rossum, but it's Micah Monroe from It Follows. Just in a wig or with different hair color.
Okay.
I thought it was Emmy Rossum for the first half of that trailer. I thought that was funny.
They look pretty similar.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But anyways, I just thought
especially wigless even, anyways.
But yeah.
Yeah, Thomasin McKenzie is in that movie too, which no actress has ever more belonged in a 1800s movie than Thomasin McKenzie. But it's like a serial killer movie based in the 1800s. I'm going to blow you guys' fucking mind. It's a movie in the 1800s where a woman is not okay. She's not proper and not doing stuff she's supposed to do. Have you guys ever seen a movie like this? It's every movie from the 1800s is the point I'm getting at, guys. They're all about this woman wanted rights and wanted to not do what men told her to. It's like what fucking Nosferatu was about. Anyways. But yeah, the movie that we did watch.
The movie we did, that was just a little gossip.
Just a little gossip. We do watch trailers, guys. We have a new trailer slate. We had to talk about it.
Slate.
And now you guys have a little glimpse into what you can anticipate from Wild Dream coming out.
Exactly. And
when we go see Onslaught in 2027, which is when that comes out, by the way.
Hell no.
We saw a trailer this weekend for a movie that comes out in 2 years.
We might have to see that 1 year. We might have to...
Fuck.
Fuck. Keep this. That was such a real fuck. Time just never stops. We might have to see that one for the bit. Yeah, I've also been taking in a lot of Cannes Film Festival content lately as well. So now I'm starting to get hyped for some future releases that are coming later. It's crazy how over the course of doing this podcast, I'm becoming way more and more into film, and I was already really into it. And I really like it. It's like a really fun, I don't know. I'm just really nerding out about it.
I saw a video recently of this guy talking about how he went to the theaters recently and he was like, yeah, I saw Obsession and I saw Backrooms. And he was saying it was very rare for him to go see 2 movies in 2 weekends. He was like, yeah, I really like, I would only go to the movie like once every like couple of months or something like that. Like it was a very rare thing. Didn't really go to the movies. He's like, but when I was a kid, man, like it was such a big thing. Like I would do it all the time. I would see like 4 movies a month, and I would go to the theater all the time. So it just felt really good to like get back into the theater, and it like kind of made me like sad because I was like, you know what? I remember that too. I remember both the time when we were kids and like going to the theater was a really big deal. It was like a couple of times, like maybe once or twice a month, if that. And like obviously it was expensive, so we didn't go all the time. But then I worked at a movie theater, my sister worked at a movie theater, so we both had times where we could go all the time. And then for most of my adult life until we started this podcast, it was kind of back to like once every other month or so. We would go see this rare movie, and me and Dana would text each other like, do you want to go see this movie? And it was like a big deal, And now we go see movies every single weekend. I'm like, I'm so glad to be in this era, this part of my life.
Definitely.
Where going
exciting.
to the movie doesn't feel nostalgic anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, this is something that brought me happiness, was my happy place as a kid that I barely ever got to do. And I didn't really participate as much in my adult life. And now I'm in a part of my adult life where the thing that makes me the happiest is something I can do every week.
Yeah.
That's why I go see The Sheep Detective in Mortal Kombat 2.
Right.
Like,
I was about to say, I mean, you kind of exemplified that in your examples. The Backrooms.
The Backrooms. Do we want to talk about Backrooms lore?
Drop just Backrooms. It's cleaner.
My bad. It is called Backrooms.
Has anyone made that meme yet? That's perfect. Backrooms. So this is a very terminally online thing for anyone who is like, what the fuck is this? The short answer is this all started from a 4chan post of a picture of this very dingy liminal space looking yellowish room with fluorescent lights, and it had this little blurb underneath it about no clipping, you find yourself in the back rooms, you're not alone. It's like a very creepypasta thing. And what is creepypasta? So creepy, you know what I'm saying?
I feel so you have to explain online. This lore. So no clipping is a term used in video games in which you walk right through the wall. Clipping is when you are stopped by objects in the room. If you're no clipping, you walk right through it. Creepypasta is when people post fake horror stories over and over and over again until it becomes like some people actually believe it, but it's a fake story. And it's
Slenderman's a
creepypasta. Yeah. I mean, this kind of took off online.
Yes.
And it got to a point where this young son of a Hollywood animator goes and makes his own animated short films. And he's like, I think he was like 13 years old, something like that. Like
14. 14 years old.
14 years old. Kane Parsons makes,
inspired by this 4chan post.
Yes, makes a series of short films called Backrooms, in which he incorporates this idea of the backrooms where they're, these liminal spaces, but he's also incorporating some lore about research companies and monsters that are living inside of this space that, make it like kind of go from like a creepy thing to like a straight up horror, version.
Yeah.
And again, just adding more story to it, right? But obviously, Backrooms isn't owned by Kane Parsons. He did not start Backrooms. He's just the one who did these animated shorts. And he did incorporate a lot of the stuff we know about the Backrooms today came from these shorts. Mm-hmm. But then it explodes in the video game scene where there's tons of Backrooms video games.
Yeah, the video games really expanded on the idea. They created sort of a level system where, okay, instead of just being stuck in an empty mall or an empty office building, what if there's a different entity in a different type of liminal space? And so it's very expanded now. Yeah. It is so...
It kind of became, what if the Backrooms were infinite?
Infinite, and yeah, there's 100 different, things of them. It's very, very evolved now. A lot of it is they have put the company async, they've put them in the background a lot.
Right.
Where it's like, yeah, we know that there's like hazmat suits,
right.
but yeah, they've kind of gone away from that portion of the lore. So it is
because the video games aren't really story-based video games. These are like playing them with your friends. They're kind of like before Lethal Company, which kind of, not started the friend slap thing, but it definitely was, the popular, Anyways, point is, come join us on Wild Dream Stream. We'll talk all about video games.
And I'll say
we'll play a lot of these games too.
Yeah, like, so that's the Backrooms kind of lore, right? Is like, okay, this 14-year-old made all these shorts, used Blender to do a bunch of the animations. Everyone was like, holy shit. Like, I remember when this started popping off like 5 or 6 years ago. And everyone was like, and that's the last time I had seen him, by the way, so I'm very far removed, not remembering those. But I remember everyone's reaction to going, wait, this was made by a 14-year-old? Like, because it was so above. When I was 14, I remember making a like MySpace video of like an evil red Solo cup attacking me and my friends. Like, that's what I was making.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that, Yeah. So it's like, and so yeah, like it was like, oh, the reaction to finding out that this really impressive feat was done by a 14-year-old kid is like, oh my God. So then when they announce, hey, there's going to be an A24 feature-length film made by Kane Parsons, the same guy who made those shorts. It's going to be a Backrooms movie. Everybody get excited. There was a lot of hype, and there was a lot of, like, people are very, very excited about this. Now, that's the Backrooms lore, just in case there's also someone who, because this is important to our conversation today, just in case there's someone who's like, what is a liminal space?
Yes, I was going to bring this up too.
Liminal just means a place between places. It's both in the past, but in the present, but also in the future. It's like it's a place between space and time. Something that feels off. It's very uncanny valley coded. It's very.
So one of the things that like some defining characteristics of a liminal space are usually you're there alone. Mm-hmm. So like the idea of being in a liminal space, you're in a liminal space by yourself.
Yeah,
and they're usually remnants of something that you are familiar with, but it's uncanny valley in terms of it's not quite right. It's a little bit off. Mm-hmm. So you can find liminal spaces in the real world. Like if you ever visited like an abandoned amusement park, that's a liminal space to a certain degree. Now, usually liminal spaces are indoors. So if you've ever been to an abandoned office building, or if you've ever been to like a indoor water park, or something like that, like there are, or even like imagine being in a giant garage or a warehouse, right? And especially when you start to incorporate certain items that just look slightly off, right? Mm-hmm. Like you incorporate like a water slide, but it's closed at the end instead of open.
Yeah.
Or you incorporate like a stairs, but they go up on the side of the wall instead of up. Like they're not quite right? These things that make you feel like you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, yeah.
And the importance of understanding what a liminal space is that this movie, like the biggest, like, hey, here's what you need to, here's your headline from Wild Dream. If you are not afraid of liminal spaces, if that concept does not frighten you, you will probably not be scared by a lot of the scenes in this movie. Mm-hmm. Because the scenes are predicated on being in a liminal space and that being very creepy and weird. And some people are very frightened by liminal spaces. They are like, that concept of horror is very scary to them. The concept of being lost and not being able to get back to where you were, like that's a very scary feeling. And I will say me and Daniel are not really those kind of people.
Yeah, no, this was not a scary film at all.
In fact, we find a little bit of comfort from being in liminal spaces.
Yeah, like my relationship with liminal spaces is a point of intrigue and interest and nostalgia. It's not fear.
Yeah, for me, it's like touring an apartment. Almost like.
It's weird. It's like tapping into a dream. It's like tapping into like a special kind of place that feels like I feel lighter. It's actually a little bit of a relief and a magic.
It's very almost like peaceful.
Very magic kind of space.
Yeah.
And I want to, this is a great talking point too, because dude, so I can't believe this still. So the day Backrooms releases, okay, it's May 29th, okay? brand new album from Boards of Canada, their first record in like, I don't know, 13, 14 years, something insane. Boards of Canada was a massive influence on me when I was in like 6th, 7th grade ish.
6, 7. 6, 7.
And so I really, really fell in love with their music. And what's interesting is, when I was in 6th, 7th,
6, 7.
me pausing so you could drop. When I was in that grade and age range, I wasn't familiar with the term of liminal space. Liminal, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting now to listen to Boards of Canada and go, oh, they have a very liminal sounding, like quality to their music.
Yeah,
I've always described their music as playful, experimental, and unsettling, and dreamlike. So it's like really similar to what you would describe liminal as, right?
Right.
So anyways, they drop a brand new album the day that Backrooms releases. And I was like, I've been really, really excited for it. I check it out. It's all I listen to all day while working. And we go see this movie right after I get off work. And I am locked in, right? I'm just like, I've been putting myself in this perfect headspace to just really enjoy some liminal time.
Yeah.
Dog. This is not a spoiler, for anything. The ending song during the credits is a brand new one of the songs from this brand new record by Boards of Canada.
Yeah.
I was like giddy. I like asked Dave. I was like,
yeah.
Wait.
He was like looking at me like, is that? And I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah, Dave's like, Dave still doesn't know what shoegaze means.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I do, bro. It's those guys who sell you shit in the mall when you're walking by.
Yeah.
So it's shoegate.
So yeah, I was so happy to hear that. It was so exciting for me. I was like, no way, because you just feel like the whole day I'm like, man, this is what a perfect album. I'm such a genius. I kind of think I'm such a genius for just locking into this album all day because this sounds really liminal. And then they use it. I'm like, bro, fucking hire me, Hollywood. See what decisions I could make.
What's crazy about it is that so I kind of cut this from our underrated episode because we talked about this in length. And I was like, okay, it's getting boring, so I cut it. But we talked about how many songs we know from indie filmmakers. And we were like, we know the song Dust It Off from I Origins and, the song that you talked about from Another Earth. And, we went on and we had talked about like a couple of different songs. But the point that we made was indie filmmakers listen to as much indie music as the movies that they make. And so we find good indie songs from indie filmmakers. And I know this isn't like, I feel like A24 isn't indie anymore. Like that's not indie.
And neither is Boards of Canada.
of Canada. But it was just interesting that's like at the same time, I think there's some overlap of the fan base of A24 movies and Boards of Canada. Like there's that.
Definitely, yeah. It's just so personal to me. It's like, something I've always thought, one of my favorite electronic artists, his name is Lorne. And I was like, dude, if...
Michaels?
Mm-hmm, you're familiar.
Wow.
I'm friends with him. I call him Lorne. His name's Lorne. And I genuinely believe in my full heart of hearts that he should be the composer for any Blade Runner project. I think it's just so fucking fitting, his style of music. So it's like if that were to be announced, if I just heard a Lorne song in a Blade Runner, it's what it felt like. I was like, it was so perfect in my head and I knew it, right. So that's what it felt like. I was so excited about that.
Instead, Blade Runner went with that fucking loser, Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, which, what has that guy done?
Bum.
So
he's that guy who makes that pop music with Ray or something. I don't know.
But yes, Backrooms. We saw the film. Hopefully you're now kind of familiar with what to expect with this movie.
Yes.
Why, because I could see a lot of people going like, wait, what is the whole craze for this? So,
and I know that a lot of our listeners are gamers or they enjoy gaming. We also do streaming. That's a big part of it. You and Mo played Escape the Backrooms, one of the many games. It's one of the better ones in my opinion, but
same.
That was a very extensive game that they went way, like when Daniel talks about multiple different levels, like this entire movie takes place in the first level of that game. So like if you go watch that stream, him and Mo are already on like the third level. So they skip right past it. Daniel and Taylor played Escape the Backrooms a long time ago as well. Where we spent most of our time on the first level. So a very different experience for the two of us, or the three of us than you two. But we also understand that not everybody is going to be the most well-versed in this lore. But so it's important to understand that, like, if you're like, why are people so hyped for this? Why is this such a big craze? Like, I don't understand why is it just because it's a 19-year-old director? Is it just because it's A24? Like, no, like there's a lot of lore that goes into the hype for this from this community. On top of that, it's one of, like, even though the Backrooms isn't a video game adaptation, that's not what it is. This is actually more of a turning a short film into a feature length than it is a video game adaptation. It feels like that, and we're kind of in this space where video game adaptations are happening all the time, and it's like weird, and like, some are good, some are bad, some are unnecessary, some are...
I mean, dude, like, I'm sure there's a massive anticipation for Alex Garland's next film, which is Elden Ring.
Right.
It is a direct. Oh, and this year Resident Evil comes out.
But yeah, I mean, it's a big thing. Section 8, or Exit 8, whatever it's called.
Exit 8, yeah.
An anomaly game. Mm-hmm. They made Mortuary Assistant into a movie. Like it's going like crazy. And so there are a lot of people who just love the Backrooms video games. They're excited for this movie, as well as a bunch of people who know this lore and these short films, or whatever. They're excited. As for everyone else, we're going to review this movie as two people who saw this movie.
Yeah.
Okay? We're giving all that lore and all of that hype just so you guys can understand, but we are going to review just this movie. Talking about this movie, we have one last thing to mention about the movie that isn't about the movie.
Yes.
There is some controversy around the making of this movie because, as we said, this movie is a feature-length movie by A24 that is directed by a 20-year-old grown man. I want to say kid.
I'm not a kid anymore, Mom. I'm making A24 movies.
I keep wanting to say kid when I think of him.
I mean, yeah,
I call Cooper Flagg kid,
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost 10 years older than this guy.
Yeah.
Almost, not quite, guys. Shut up. Anyways, 20-year-old feature-length movie, first feature film, made short films on YouTube before this, right? So there was speculation out there that he didn't really direct this movie, that he had a ghost director and that someone else was really pulling all of the strings and actually made the movie, and they're just saying he directed it as, first to get Backrooms fans hyped and also to, promote this movie as a movie made by a 20-year-old. And then one of the actors from the movie, Mark Duplass, comes out and he makes this video where he's like, I hate all these rumors. I'm going to squash all these. This is not true. He was extremely prepared and really, well-versed in this lore and, understood what the objective and blah, blah, blah. He did a really good job. I thought he was like saying how he has like mentored young directors and young filmmakers in the past. And he was prepared, thinking that A24 was bringing him in, partially to do this for this young guy again. And he didn't really need to because he was so good, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. And then a little bit more, not like confirmed, but, more credible, reputable sources reported that at least, bare minimum, a lot of the script and storyboarding and planning and preparation for the movie was done by Osgood Perkins.
In collaboration with Kane Parsons.
With Kane Parsons and Osgood Perkins, they worked together to prepare a lot of this movie. Now, if you don't know, storyboarding and development is a massive part of the director's job for a movie. So that's a very, very big part of it. Also, people talk about there's extremely adult themes in this movie that are very real and visceral, that it feels difficult for a 20-year-old to understand these things. Mm-hmm. Which I think is kind of BS, but I also think a rich 20-year-old kid, yes, would have a hard time understanding this. I was like, when I was 20, I understood this. I was like, oh, I was poor. Anyways.
We're bringing up the controversy because we are not here to at all further any completely baseless claims that this was actually directed by someone else and he didn't do anything. That's cap.
Right.
That's straight up false.
We know that's not true. We've seen behind the scenes stuff already and whatever.
However, if I'm being my true self, if I'm being truthful to myself,
we have to be honest, which we always are for this podcast.
There were multiple facets of this movie that screamed Osgood Perkins. I mean, screamed Osgood Perkins.
Yeah. To the degree of everything Kane Parsons has made looks nothing like this.
Yeah.
But it looks exactly like everything we've seen from Osgood Perkins.
Exactly.
Like, oh, this is a thing that Osgood Perkins thinks is scary. Like, he thinks this is scary. So he puts this in every horror movie he makes. Kane Parsons, in all of his shit, thinks other things are scary and, like, different type of horror entirely. And those are not really present in the movie. So, like, I was like, it feels weird, right? Like,
so we're
it could be inspiration. It could, and hey, listen, if he went out and got help from a senior, a veteran director in the horror industry who's comes from a long line of horror people, that's fine. I think that's a good thing to do as a young director, to go and get help and get advice and get, some input or perspective from someone like Osgood Perkins. That's fine. I don't think that that's a bad thing if that's true.
Right.
So
we're just simply not ignoring it entirely.
Yeah.
Because I totally got that vibe. I mean, one of the funniest tweets I saw when the story broke about the Osgood Perkins thing was that story breaking, and then someone quote tweeting it and saying, "I'm considerably less excited for this movie now," which is, they're dunking on Osgood.
Hey, if I knew it was a comedy, though, I mean, his comedy horror.
That's what's funny.
Lights out.
Our favorite movie of his that we've seen so far is the one that his fans consider his worst movie.
People hate that. People in the horror, people who love horror, fucking hate that movie. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's his best product.
We thought it was great.
But, so that's, I know it's a lot of prerequisites. What is this? This is a lot of...
You can still get pregnant from prerequisites.
Disclaimer for a review. It really is. But we're just getting it all the way...
But the spoiler-free part of this review is very simple.
Yeah, we want to get this all out of the way so that we can, like Dave said, we just want to focus on the movie that we saw. Okay, and starting now.
This movie sucked. Headline. This movie sucked. Okay, let me be real though. Let me be real.
Yeah. That was for lols.
That was for the lols. That's for the bit. It's for the bit. Please don't tune out. Please don't tune out.
That's the clip. That's the clip for the pod. Yeah.
This movie was, I think the most important thing, we said it at the beginning, this movie was just not scary. I'm not scared by liminal spaces. The horror elements that they did do were just really goofy to me. And and I'll get into specific examples, but just kind of goofy. And, they do a lot of horror cliches, like, oh, the person's running away and they hurt their foot. Oh, and now they can't run. And, oh, I have 0.2 seconds to do something, so I'm going to go really, really fucking slow for no reason whatsoever, or, just like stuff like that. Now, there are things in this movie that were done really well, and the things that were done really well are the sequences that look like they should be in a VHS movie. Because, I was like, what's sad about it is when I talk about the movie in its entirety, my big takeaway is I go, this would have been better as a short, which it was already, a short. Like, it's what it was, So, like, I think that, the main character, or I guess quote unquote main character, we're going to get into it in spoiler free or in spoiler talk, but the person who is, introducing the story and everything that a lot of the story is about, I don't think that his performance was very good. So it hurts the movie a lot. I think that the most ironic thing about a movie made by a 20-year-old is that the people who are like 20 years old in the movie don't feel like 20-year-olds at all. Because the movie also takes place in the 90s, and I was like, yes, get a 20-year-old kid to make a movie about an era he did not live in any capacity. Now I understand people make movies about the 1800s. That's not my point. My point is, I was like, why do these two like teens, early 20s people feel like caricatures? Like they don't, I don't know. It just felt really weird. And then when you start to get into like the exploration of the lore of this movie, it's like arguably the most boring part of it.
The lore.
And this movie just kind of, it's interesting because it feels like this movie falls off a cliff in the third act, but then has a really, really good ending. So it's like third act problems, but it ends really well. Like that's part of the third act. It's like it does have a really good ending that redeems so much of the movie that I thought was really fucking boring. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, for the majority of the movie, I'm like, this is boring. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep, bro. This shit, like, this should not have been a feature length movie. This is way too damn long. They don't know what story they're telling. They don't even know, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, they are expanding on something that they weren't prepared to expand upon. And I'm over it. I'm ready for this movie to be over. And then when you get to the last scene of the movie, I was like, all right, cool. Cool, I get it now. Like a little bit, you know? Like it redeemed a lot of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a couple of points of my score, like redeemed by the ending, you know? So I think it's still worth going to go see.
I would skip this one. I really did not like this movie. I didn't hate it, though. Did not hate it. But I would not recommend this movie to anyone. I think it is very boring. It is very, very boring. It is very predicated upon you thinking that the buzzing of a fluorescent light and electricity in a big empty room is somehow frightening and interesting. I disagree with that because that just does not speak to me in that way.
Now, if you added a bunch of cubicles and office chairs and desks, now I'm scared.
So yeah, if you made me clock in, I'm fucking terrified, motherfucker.
You fill it with people going, let's circle back. Now I'm scared.
Oh no. Well, to piggyback off of all right, we gotta write this down. This is a good idea for a script. It's just Office Space.
It's Backrooms, but it's
No, I really did not like this movie, and so I'm very, very cynical about the Backrooms concept being put into a feature length format. I agree. I said this when we left the theater. I said, I don't think there's a single director I could think of that could make this work.
Right.
Now, that is also, that's hard to say. It's kind of abiding by the idea of this exact script they could never make work because it was a bad script.
Yeah.
But
straight up.
It was straight up a bad script. But even if they change, even if they change the script, I'm still just like, I don't know, a Backrooms feature length movie it's
just such a better video game concept.
It's such a. I even pitched to Dave like the idea of like a Meow Wolf, but for a Backrooms liminal space type thing.
Yeah.
So an art installation is a little bit more interesting as to use this concept for. So,
and if you built that, oh my god, the line would be
insane.
Out the door, bro.
So I'm really cynical about this. Even going into this movie, I told Dave I was not hyped for the movie. I was so curious to see what the movie like. How do you even make this into a feature length? So,
which thank God we saw Isle of Boosters as like a silly politically driven Boots Riley movie and not this back to back with Obsession.
I mean, it's very interesting. Now, what I'll give it credit for is it sets itself apart from a lot of horror movie slop.
Yeah.
Even though it has some of the tropes, obviously, like it has the classic, like, this is a metaphor for my trauma.
Yeah.
That, it's in fucking everything, right? So the metaphor for trauma and repressed memories and this and that, wait, the werewolf is my dad's love. It's like, it's just right. Like, this
the monster is me grieving my mom.
Yeah, it's so, it's really, really bad. And that way, again, it has a lot of found footage tropes as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Have I talked about that as much on this podcast? I don't remember. I fucking hate found footage movies.
Yeah, which is, that's a really controversial, how do you say that word correctly?
Controversial.
That's a very controversial opinion for a horror fan.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing about it is I love VHS, and that is the most found footage. It's a found footage movie about guys finding footage. That's literally what the first VHS is about. So, yeah, I love the VHS series, and I appreciate them for what they are and what they do. But the found footage genre has a lot of problems for me in terms of cutting corners and not developing a story and filming it in a way to tell a story cohesively. It's just like the camera glitched. Now we can cut. I'm like, okay, cameras don't glitch that often. That's not ever been a thing, you know. Or I fell down and dropped the camera to the ground. Now we can cut. It's like you're not transitioning scenes naturally or in a positive or cohesive way to tell this story. You're just making up excuses why you can cut by cheating with the camera shit. And the other part of it is none of it feels real or natural. It's never going to be that inclusive of a movie, because when I'm running forward and I look over my shoulder, I don't whip my arm around to film the thing around my shoulder.
Yeah.
I just look over my shoulder. So it's like,
it's hard to be immersed with that kind of
I'm just like,
limitation.
This is bullshit. You wouldn't do this. You wouldn't film it this way. It wouldn't turn out this way, you know, whatever. Now, I think there's a lot of creative things you can do with found footage. And in this movie, they do some creative things with this found footage, one particular thing. But they also do a lot of that bullshit that just like drives me crazy. And then like mixing it into this other movie, it's like, I don't know. I didn't really like that. Because one of my least favorite movies of last year, by the way, was Shelby Oaks. And I don't remember.
Which is so funny because when we did our Obsession episode, we were bringing up examples of YouTubers turned directors, and we didn't even mention Chris Stuckman.
Nope. and he's a film reviewer, right? Like he does what we do.
Yeah, it's like if we...
Way bigger than we do.
Right.
Shelby Oaks was horrifically bad. Like horrifically bad. And one of the worst things that movie did was it tried to be more than one type of movie. It tried to be a mockumentary and also a found footage and also a like serious drama. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, it was just very weird, you know? It's like, and I understand like Hell House LLC, it's a movie that's like half mockumentary, half found footage, you know, and that movie does a lot of these tropes too. And I love that movie, but Shelby Oaks just did not land for me. And then this movie, I think at times it felt like it hurt the movie to be switching between these two mediums. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, it could be just you because I actually enjoyed it, and but then it's like, well, did I enjoy it because it finally gave me a break from just fucking snoozing, like the predication upon like being scared of liminal spaces is one thing, but it also means that the way that the film is paced is dreadfully slow, and if you are a fan of liminal spaces to such a level that watching someone just mosey down a corridor is like, whoa, oh my gosh, this is so... I'm sorry, just for me, I'm like, move it the fuck on. Let me tell you something, man. I'd be roller skating through these bitches. If I no-clipped through a wall and found myself in the backrooms, the speed at which I would explore this shit... I'm being so serious. So it's so funny to me.
And by the way, the first inkling that I get that something else is down there, I also leave and never come back.
Right.
Like, that's also part of it.
Of course. Or I'm bringing my gun, bro. Like,
bring the blicky.
Yeah, and this one does have a clip. They ain't no clip.
Blicky in the back rooms.
But yeah, it's just so the way that the movie is filmed is, and here's what I'll say too, because I'm trying to be as spoiler free as possible, obviously. The real big issue with this is you have multiple characters. This is as spoiler as I'll get. You have multiple characters who go explore the backrooms in this movie.
Yeah.
Right? And what they do, it's a really bad decision. What they do is they pace each of those characters first entering the backrooms the exact same.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, let's show an entire sequence of this character entering the backrooms for the first time, just like we did with the previous character and the character before that, and let's show them going, what? And then we cut back to and I'm like, hey, we've seen this 3 times.
Yeah.
Skip this part where they get oriented into the back. Like,
let's make a Batman movie where we show his parents dying 3 times.
Dude, it's so like it's such a horrific idea for how to pace this movie and how to tell the story.
It's like 3 different inciting incidents.
It's insane, dude.
Where it can't ramp up. It can't get any motivation like moving forward.
Imagine like, dude.
And then like right when you start to get some of that, the movie ends.
Imagine like a big drone crane shot of showing Wakanda. And they do the same shot every time anyone goes like into Wakanda. Like it's that instead of just cutting to Wakanda.
Yeah,
like that's what it feels like.
And then they land in the city and walk all the way to the kingdom.
Yeah,
like it's like okay, we saw and by the way, same streets they use, same vendors, right? So it's like the Backrooms. The main appeal of that is that it's this infinite space. And they do a lot of creative, weird, interesting rooms in this backroom space. I'm not saying they don't, but it's like at the same time, we then re-see the same couple of normal, quote unquote, normal rooms, like 5, 6, 7 times. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it's right when you start to build momentum, they go back to the beginning. Okay, now we're starting to build momentum. Okay, cut back. Now we get to build momentum again. Okay, now in the movie. Like, I'm like, wow, man, like, you didn't utilize your time well. That's the thing. For the length of this movie, like, however much time you have, you should be using every minute of that time to just keep expanding, keep going, and keep going, and keep going into it, like, you know, whatever space you want to end up in Backrooms, in the Backrooms. I'm saying I don't give a fuck, the Facebook. But my point is that when you don't do that, that's where, again, where you and I said we felt bored. We felt bored because it's like, oh, we're just not going as far as we could. We're taking this incredibly intricate and interesting concept and we're limiting it. We're shrinking it down in a feature-length movie. I'm like, that's not what you do when you take a short film and you make it into a feature-length. You don't then reduce the scale of that.
Right.
That's where it was like, it was hurtful to the movie for me. Like, I think if they go, okay, we're doing the VHS shit now, and that was the rest of the movie, I would have been happy with that. I really would have. Like,
I would have too.
Even if there was like no plot, really, I don't even think I would have cared.
I mean, there was barely plot to begin. It felt like this very forced thing, and yeah, I don't know. This movie was kind of a mess, man. It's really interesting too. Just the whole idea of we're gonna make a Backrooms film. The guy who made this when he was 14 was really flexing his ability to create visual effects. Now everything's practical.
Yeah, now we're building the sets.
We're just going to build the sets. And I'm like, so why hire Kane Parsons then?
Right.
Genuinely, like why hire Kane Parsons if you're not even tapping into his specialty and what makes him such a visionary at such a young age with what his talents are for? It's really weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like if Damian McCarthy's first movie was a rom-com. And it's like, right. Wait, he's been making horror shorts for years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting in that way that I'm like, this is a strange way to do this. So it's very interesting in the way that they went about making this. I think that I can't really talk about some of the more specific pacing issues without getting into spoiler talk, so I'll wait. The one that I mentioned is the only one that feels spoiler free enough. So I'll just say that, yes, this movie was boring.
Yes.
Like to the point where, guys, I did not recline my seat because I was too scared that I might actually start to doze off a bit.
I actually did. I did start to doze off at a certain point in the movie, and I will tell you guys exactly where in spoiler free.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't like
or spoiler talk. We're in spoiler free. God damn it!
I felt
4 years in, by the way.
All right. Wait, 4 years? Fuck.
Fuck, now I have to keep that.
Yeah, I felt like it's hard to describe because I'm not saying that Chiwetel Ejiofor's performance was bad, as in he was a bad actor. I am saying that his performance belonged in a completely different setting. As in, I truly believe that his performance in this movie was made for a theatrical stage. Whether that is like black box theater or whether it's actual full on Broadway, it was not film acting at all to me. At all. There was no subtlety. There was nothing. Whereas Renate Reinsve is really good in this film. And she is acting circles around him. Yeah. Truthfully, in my opinion. Because she is really, really good at this type of film acting where it's like, Ryan Gosling is someone that's really good at film acting because he can do stuff with just the way he looks with his eyes left to right. That doesn't work in a play.
There's your weekly required Ryan Gosling mention from Wild Dream.
I'm going to start planning these ahead of time. And then
also, I saw a video of people ranking top 5 Ryan Gosling movies, and I sent it to the group because I knew that they would wholeheartedly disagree
and
with
we
the
did.
entire list. Anyways.
So it just felt very, very out of place, his acting style, and it took me out of the movie a lot. So that was a big issue for me as well. But yeah, I mean, there were some things that I enjoyed in this movie, and especially just the idea of the ambition of trying some stuff and separating itself from something like horror slop. When I say horror slop, it's going to be anything Smile adjacent in terms of plot. It's going to be something where it's just like, this thing happens and we got to go to the beginning and then we got to break the curse. Like, there's none of that in this. Yeah, even though they might tease.
Even though there are moments of this movie that reminded me of Imaginary. And I was like, oh, that's like one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like easily one of the worst movies I've ever seen is Imaginary. And there were parts of this movie that reminded me. I was like, no horror movie should ever remind me of that movie.
Right.
Like that's how bad that movie was. And so yeah, it's weird because last week we talked about how the movie had some low lows but high highs. This movie is even a wider gap. Like the high highs and then the low lows are really low. Mm-hmm. The last things, just quick ramblings before we get into spoiler talk. The cinematography in this movie is fine. All the sets are practical, so it makes it kind of easy for them to shoot it. So I'm like not that impressed by most of it, if I can be honest. The VHS sequences were done really well. That was my favorite. Spoiler alert! My favorite part of the movie. I think the best part of the movie was the VHS sequences, and I think that for whatever amount of digital effects they did were good, and some of the practical effects were really bad to the point to where, to your point, why didn't you just do it digitally? Because Kane Parsons is a digital prodigy, like he's an animation prodigy, and you let's do everything practical. I think it hurt the movie a lot to do that. I think the music in the movie is fine. It's not good. It's not bad. There is voiceover. There's dream sequences.
Does the voiceover count?
Yes, it does. They cut to black. All 3 of those things I hate. There's no title cards, thank God, but those 3 things are Wild Dream boo-boos on a movie.
David boo-boos
on a movie. God damn, bro.
I don't care about
I'm also Wild Dream. You don't care about voiceover? You can say you don't care about voiceover?
I care about voiceover for sure. I don't really care about title cards as much.
Or fading to black or cutting to black?
Cutting to black and fading to black, I don't care about at all.
Okay.
That's definitely like...
good to know for future reference.
Yeah. But it's time to discuss spoiler talk for Backrooms.
Hello? Is anyone there?
No, it's just the lights. It's me, the lights.
Seems empty in here.
No, you wish it was, buddy.
I guess I'm going to keep moving forward.
There's an entity in here, man. It's killed everybody. They're all dead.
Okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So Daniel is going to give us the
going to try to get
Backrooms rundown.
Backrooms, we're putting them in the backrooms.
And I'm going to do my absolute best to not talk this whole time. Because this is his rundown. I'm not correcting him. I'm not chiming in. Okay, you're just going to hear my breathing in the background.
Yeah. All right. All right. You can do this, bro. I believe in you. All right. So the the very opening shot of this movie is a furniture store. And
no, okay.
Just baiting
It's actually,
you.
no, it's not. It's actually not. It's actually not that.
No, the open. Okay, for real. The opening of this video is one of these VHS segments, right? We get a handheld camcorder footage of one of these people working in the back rooms, running away from an entity, eventually finding their home base within the back rooms, but then getting got by the entity. The camera falls to the floor, so we create some intrigue. The scene ends with the tape closing, and then we see that this was being watched by a bunch of people in lab coats reflected on the television that they're watching it on. Boom. So we're putting ourselves in this mystery. Oh, what the hell was that? Now we get introduced to the main part of the movie, which is a furniture store salesman in therapy with his therapist, of course. This is where we get a bunch of exposition through this really long scene to establish these characters. It is made clear that this furniture salesman is alone. He was kicked out of his home because he has an alcohol problem and seems giving very awful partner vibes to his wife, who had enough and called it quits, and now he's alone and he's a victim of his own suffering kind of vibe, okay? Now, what's interesting about this is the furniture salesman takes up a lot of screen time in the first half of the movie. He is not our main character. Our main character is the therapist in which he is talking to. So keep that in mind, because when we get little tidbits of the therapist's life, it's very small, short, and succinct until we get to the second half when we start getting flashbacks to her childhood. So it's important to remember. So the first half is mostly about this furniture salesman. Now, what happens is he has an employee at the store. Her and her boyfriend have a video camera, so they film all of his commercial promos on their video camera. Again, this takes place in the 90s. So they are very tech savvy in that way. He is not. Now, that's important because they're having a bunch of electricity problems at the furniture store, and he's like, what's going on? And the electrician is like, what are these switches connected to? And he points out that there are 2 switches on the electrical circuit that don't even connect to anything and don't do anything when flipped. And so it's like, ooh, what is this? What is this to? And he's like, well, whatever. We're going to try and get your electricity to stop like short circuiting all the time. And we'll keep an eye on it. Now, so we do get a scene of Clark, the furniture salesman, sleeping in one of the beds on display and watching TV. TV goes out because of these electrical problems, but then eventually the TV comes back on and plays what looks like live camera footage of a room in the back rooms. And of course, he's like, what the fuck was that? What did I just see? Now, since the electricity is fucking up, he goes back down into the basement where the circuit breaker is at. He starts flipping a bunch of switches. And then eventually he flips the switches the mystery switches that aren't connected to anything. And we have a full blackout in the room. He starts walking by this part of the wall and sees very, very slightly what looks to be like a crack in the wall. And he keeps going back and forth, which, by the way, I really liked. I actually did like the scene. It was very intriguing. The way
One of the only CGI type
honestly.
moments.
And he eventually investigates it, and boy, this is paced very slowly, but he eventually investigates it. He no clips through the wall. We've already explained what that means. Moving on. He's now in the back rooms, and again, very, very slowly paced of him going back and forth between the wall. It's like, okay, we get it. You're going through the wall. Eventually, he starts exploring the back rooms a little bit, and he starts hearing a noise. He goes to investigate the noise. It is this little caveman cardboard cutout that has this speaker in it playing in a bunch of different languages. And he now sees the room that he saw on the TV with the camera at the top with displaying the footage. As he starts exploring the back rooms that he is now in, he finds a little cupboard, little crawl space that has a duffel bag full of equipment and an ID badge. And he's like, what the hell? Who does this belong to? So on and so forth. As he begins to explore more and more in the back rooms, he eventually starts to hear what sounds like a monster. And it sounds a lot like the monster that we saw in the very opening clip. Eventually, he goes back to his therapist and he is telling her about what he has found. Now, obviously, he sounds like a fucking insane person. He is like, I found the secret back. He says, I found the backrooms.
I don't think they say backrooms the entire movie,
yeah,
unfortunately.
They don't. So I think he it's backrooming time.
He goes, I found this space. It's like in the basement area. I was like, fuck you.
Don't tease me.
Yeah.
So he explains to her that he found this secret place within the basement of his furniture store. He has mapped it out because he wants to be an architect, but his life is just not fallen that way, and he's not doing what he wants to do.
When he leaves the therapist's office is when it had the worst line delivery in the movie to me. And he's like, well, I'm going to go get proof. And when I come back, you're going to owe me a serious fucking apology. And I was like, this guy doesn't say fuck a lot.
Yeah, his performance is just not subtle at all.
When I come back,
doesn't feel
you're going to
real.
owe me a serious fucking apology.
Yeah.
And then walks out.
So, of course, she has an obligation to be like, is he well enough to operate in society? Because he sounds insane. He even shows her, the blueprints that he's made, mapping it out. And he tells her exactly what Dave said. I'm going to get proof, and then you'll see. So he hits up his tech-savvy little employees, and he goes, hey, you know that camera you got? Follow me. And he does the classic movie thing. I don't have time to explain. Like that kind of thing.
But let's drive to the furniture store, and then walk all the way through it, and then
they're
go
like, "What's
downstairs.
going on? What are you doing?" And he's like, "You'll see." It's like, dude, fucking. Which maybe that. Okay, look, maybe that's because if he told them, they'd be like, "Oh no, you're insane."
Yeah.
So fine. Anyways.
But he doesn't even say like, I need you to film something in the store for me, or I found this weird thing, I want to document it. He doesn't say any of that. He just says, just wait.
It's gonna blow.
He's gonna blow your fucking mind.
Listen here, bro. Just follow me, bro.
Listen, bro.
What did Alpha Wolf is speaking? You listen, right? So he gets their help to get the camera set up. So this is what introduces us to the kind of switching back and forth between the main storyline and then these little VHS segments, right? It's them now using the camera. So he shows them the back rooms. They no clip through the wall. And again, this is what I was saying, and spoiler free a little bit. This is where it's like, and now this character holding the camera has to go, wait, what? And then he walks back through the wall and then back through the wall. And then his girlfriend in the movie is like, can we not do this? Let's just turn around. And it's just like, everyone gets to get there. I'm entering the backroom scene, and it's just so poorly paced because they're in the exact same room we just took 20 minutes to explore and explain. So eventually he has them go down. He has this plan of putting a rope around the cameraman to send them down this really inclined like chute. It kind of looks like into who knows what. And he's like, I'm going to put this rope around you so that if it can help you, because it's so inclined, to get down there and then obviously get back up as well. Just film what you can down there. We're trying to explore this place, right? Then we get to it has to be like the best scene in the movie, in my opinion, which is he goes down this corridor and we get this really, finally kind of actually engaging and creepy scene of what looks like this really run-down area full of piles of clothes, and it's really dingy and gross. And if you look in certain places, it's really low quality because it's VHS quality. But if you look in camcorder footage, if you look in certain areas, you can see some really unsettling, weird shit. I even freaked out because I saw a head and an arm hanging out of the pile of clothes, and Dave had to tell me after the movie, he was like, that was the caveman cutout.
Yeah,
that we saw earlier.
We see a bunch of those.
I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's creating this intrigue because we're finally seeing more of the backrooms. It's not just yellow walls anymore. Right. We're finally seeing some true horror starting to creep in. And he's exploring down there. He's like, oh, it's just a bunch of clothes, whatever. And then eventually we see a little bit of a highlight of the entity, which is this really tall, all shadow, blacked out, kind of demonic looking figure.
And if you know anything about the Backrooms and the monster that exists in the yellow Backrooms, we all kind of expect it to be a certain thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and it's an interesting take on that for sure. So eventually he's like, whoa, what the fuck? Get me out of here, motherfucker. And so they pull him up.
He doesn't say that. Hey, Tony.
He goes,
we're stuck in a fucking back room.
Hey, T, we took a wrong turn and we're back in the back rooms bullshit. The life form attacked Chrissy.
We have to post. We're going to post that with the Instagram post.
We should, yeah. We'll post our back rooms. That thing makes me laugh. That was
so funny, dude.
Yeah, that thing makes me laugh.
We get so many likes on that. More likes than we've gotten on anything on our Instagram in a long time.
Weird as hell.
So I think someone's replied to us and said, "Don't look behind you."
Yeah, so he gets pulled back up, but eventually the entity pulls that rope so hard that they all three fall into that chute. By the time they get down there, this is where the camera falls, we cut type of found footage thing. We pull it up. We see that there's a trail of blood, and the cameraman has now been taken by the entity through one of these Uncanny Valley side doors. And the rest of the sequence is really a chase scene. So our main character, Clark, has the camera and is running around trying to escape the monster and sort of find his employee and the cameraman. So this is where we get a lot more exploration of the Backrooms and how deep it really goes. We even get some pool room type stuff, which I was like, okay, we're finally getting some level-based Backrooms lore here. But eventually, I think the big part of this sequence is that he enters a room that is completely dark other than a lit Christmas tree. Again, when this scene started, I was really like into it. I was like, this is very unsettling. This is kind of weird. Because there's bodies, which may be mannequins or something that are...
As they get closer, you realize they're mannequins.
Yeah. At first, you can't even tell what they are. And then they're like little bodies that are kind of halfway clipping through the floor. And it kind of loses steam once we get the reveal of this... it's a little person in a wheelchair who has a lamp...
Attached to the wheelchair.
Attached to the wheelchair. He turns it on, and then some freaky looking Uncanny Valley lady starts chasing after him.
Yeah. When you first see the little person, they haven't turned the light on yet. It's really good because you go, "Oh my fucking God, that's a person."
Yeah.
That's a person. Like there's something here, and then they go and they turn it on. And I was like, "Oh, it's less scary now."
Yeah, and this was this character too, which he reappears later. Him and his companion, this woman, they're very, very Twin Peaks coded to me, like to a point where I'm like maybe too derivative. Anyways, so he runs away from that area. So again, the point is we're really, really exploring the Backrooms here. I have to stop the rundown a bit to say that this is what I was talking about in spoiler free. It felt too spoilery. I think what they do really, really wrong here is. This sequence is so engaging because we're seeing so much of the Backrooms, and then for the rest of the film, we don't go nearly as far.
No, yeah. 100%.
We don't see anything of this depth ever again for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
So it's this.
So it peaks in the middle of the movie.
Imagine getting to the top of a roller coaster, and then they're like, all right, and then they just go backwards and pull you back down. You don't get to do the drop. And it's
imagine like
what?
in Insidious when they first see like the living room with all the people, and then he just wakes up and they never leave the house or go out into the darkness or they never do that again.
Yeah,
you're just like, whoa, okay, and then the rest of the movie they're just like, man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's a real bummer in that way. Like, and also it's poorly structured. This is a poorly structured idea. You're getting everyone so excited to see how far and bizarre this can go, but you never get it. We'd never do this again. This sequence ends with him eventually finding himself in one of these little pool rooms, and he can hear his employee screaming at him, and she's telling him to open the door. Open the door.
Open the door.
And he's he's going, there is no door on my side. And she's like, just pull the handle. And he's like, there is no handle.
And he even says, how can you see me? She goes, there's a window.
Yeah. So she can see, again, it creates a lot of intrigue and there's actual engagement in the scene where it's like, this is so fascinating.
Now, I do want to say something here while we're in spoiler talk. One of our favorite elements of the Backrooms games that seems to be recurring in the games. I haven't seen the short films. I assume this exists in the short films too, because it's so recurring in the games. Is a monster that is an imposter that makes himself look like one of your teammates and then reveals himself to be a monster and then kills you.
Yeah.
So we thought that was going to happen multiple times in this movie. Even this part where it's like her and she's like, yeah, just come here.
Just open the door.
Open the door and come here real quick.
I thought the same
I was
thing.
like, oh, this is going to be a fucking imposter. That imposter character does not exist in this movie. They're not there.
Yeah.
At least as far as we know. But no, yeah, nothing reveals itself to be something else. Like it's all just...
It's very, very stripped back and contained. And yeah, it's very...
Which is part of what I'm talking about. You don't shrink what you've done in the short films. You expand upon them. That's the whole point of doing a feature length.
Right.
Now maybe they're doing Backrooms 2, 3, 4. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows what this can become for sure. Especially with the numbers it's doing in the box office. Jesus Christ. I'm sure the next one is being written as we speak. But because that money talks, unfortunately, most of the time. So this sequence ends with him trying to find a way to get to her. But then what he has done is he has set the camera down so that he can go and investigate this area that she's telling him that there's a door. And he's like, I don't see a door, blah, blah, blah. Eventually the camera gets picked up and now we know, oh my God, the monster has the camera, which is kind of funny.
Done so well, by the way, because the monster it keeps going up and you see how tall.
Yeah, like their head is touching the ceiling.
Yeah,
it's
how
like,
tall the
my God.
entity is. Yeah.
So, and then we cut. This is like, okay, this is done. So it's like, whoa. They really, really put you in a finally very thrilling situation, really good sequence. I think it's the best sequence of the film by far. Now it's time for the second half of the movie, which is this therapist and her trauma and her trying to find her patient who has gone missing. We obviously know where he's at. So
so does she.
And she knows where he's at, and that's a part of the pacing issue. Is like we already know what to get to it, right? However, we get a lot of flashbacks of this therapist character and her childhood. Her mom was crazy. Her mom had a bunch of newspapers all over the windows, would not allow her to look outside, go outside, anything. Kept her completely shut in. And then we get these really surreal memories and dream sequences of her remembering being a child and then her house getting demolished by a construction crew while she's still living in it.
Right. Which the movie opens on her watching her childhood home be demolished by a construction crew.
Yeah. So...
for them to build those condos, which might come into play in part 2.
Maybe.
In Backrooms 2, they're going to build these new condos.
So we're building this like backstory for this therapist character. Her name is Mary. So Mary, now we're starting to realize, oh, this is the main character. Like she's been here from the very start, and she's the only one we get this much backstory to and memories being shown.
Yeah. And other than the VHS segment, she's the opening.
Yeah, exactly. So she's the voiceover you spoke about. She's the voiceover. So
Voiceover?
I don't want my voice to be over. She eventually starts to investigate. Okay, I got to find him. He was talking about this crazy thing he found. She goes to the furniture store. She starts looking around. This is, again, so poorly paced. She finds the thing that she no clips through the wall. And then she's like, wait, what? And then she goes back through the wall and shows her hand going into and no clipping through. It's like, okay, everyone gets to do this. We've seen it happen so many times in this movie. We're doing it again.
I will say one thing about it, though. I do agree with. I remember when we were watching it, I was like, this is so poorly paced. And it takes fucking forever for her to walk through this thing. But at the same time, I was like, at least it does take her as long as it would take a person to be willing to go through it.
Yeah. 100%.
It's realistic. It's just bad for a movie.
Yeah, for a movie.
That's already done this twice.
Yeah, you have to be creative about how you pace this. you know?
Even if she trips and falls through the back rooms, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, for instance,
She's got to walk through
and I'll
5 minutes of her contemplating.
Dude, mid rundown, I'll just go ahead and pitch an idea. Because what she does is she starts to explore the back rooms, and they're a little different than what we've seen. Like the stack of furniture that has been in this opening room is not here this time. So eventually she even finds this huge mural on one of these walls. And it has a bunch of drawings and information written down and rules and like all kinds of stuff. It's very like childlike crayon drawing on the wall. I think it would be really interesting to show her no clip through, but stay in the furniture store and let it breathe for a second. And then just cut to that mural skip her orienting to almost make it seem like that's what she walked into. And so she's now intrigued by that mural, so she's not as worried about how did I even get in here. Right. I think that might be interesting. So she's looking at the mural. She's obviously very unsettled. She's like, what the fuck? And then we get what I thought was a really cool shot and idea of it then shows behind her for a split second, there's someone in the hallway behind her who slips back into the darkness. Eventually it turns out this is Clark.
Which again, we thought could be an imposter, Clark.
Could be an imposter. Yeah, I was so certain this was an imposter this time. I was like, it's going to be one of those people who's like, flashes the badge.
Because she's like, come here. He's like, come over here.
Yeah.
Come into the darkness. I'm like, motherfucker.
That's not Clark. No, it's Clark. It is him. No imposter. He then chokes her out and says, hey, this is for your own good. And so it's clear that, whoa, Clark is like on some crazy shit. She eventually wakes up, tied to a chair at a dinner table.
Now, is all this furniture what was in the original room? Was that the implication, that this table and chairs and...
Or did he set this up?
That's what I'm saying. Like, when he first walks into the back rooms, there's a pile of furniture.
Yeah.
Is that what's in this room?
Maybe.
I don't know.
It would be very resourceful if it was. And I hope that my, eco-conscious king would reuse. She wakes up tied to a chair at a dinner table. Across from her is Clark. And sitting at the dinner table is a person, I say in quotes, who looks completely comatose and has like the triple eye kind of effect going on. Makes it like your eyes hurt looking at it. So it's very, there's a lot of stuff in the back rooms where it's just halfway clipping through the floor. And so it's like it fucks with reality a little bit. And that's what they do with the humans in the back rooms is they have a bunch of weird facial things that are like duplicated and repeated. And it makes it look very, very off. And he starts explaining to her that he's gone mad. He's gone mad. He's like, this place, I matter here. It's mine. And you can't take shit from me here because it's mine. And she's obviously like, hey, you crazy ass motherfucker, let me out of here. And he's like, you could never fix me. You're the worst therapist ever. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I don't fucking know how to fix you. I'm over it. And he's like, well, you're just like my wife. You're just like everybody else out there, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't, I have one drink and you guys freak out. And she's like, you know what, bro? It's not about the drinking. It's not about the drinking. It's about you and you being unable to take blame. You're like, hey, I don't like my job, but the only reason I have the job is because the world just didn't allow it. And I am an architect, but I couldn't be an architect because I have to work at this furniture store. And he goes, you'll blame anyone but yourself, right? You'll blame everyone else. So it's this very like adult concept and conversation. And I found it kind of interesting, the argument here, at least her acting was just so much better that I liked her lines a lot more. But they have this big realization and confrontation. And during this, he starts to show how mad he's gotten, right? He pulls out a knife and says, the people in the back rooms, he doesn't say the back rooms, the people in the back rooms, they don't feel pain. Stabs the knife directly into this guy's neck who's sitting at the table. Sitting behind him is the woman that we saw in the Christmas tree room. Sitting behind her is the man that we saw in the Christmas tree room.
So again, we're not adding any more to this thing.
Yeah, it's what we've already seen.
Yeah,
and we're in the yellow walls again. So the pacing, the idea here was really bad. And then eventually he's like, you can eat them. and then he cuts off a piece of the guy's stomach, and it looks like almost like fluff, like inside of like a pillow or something.
Yeah,
but
it's like foam.
Yeah, foam. Yeah, very foamy, but it's covered in this like honey, really goopy liquid, and. She's obviously like, I'm good, bro. I already ate. She's
like, I'm stuffed.
Oh, I really would.
I already had Carl on the way here.
That's funny. Well, I already had Carl on the way here. Jeff looks lovely. So once she really confronts him and starts speaking truth to his issues and his problems, he's like, you know what? He kind of just gives up on being able to show her his side of his thinking, his ideals. And so he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to convince you. Sure, I'll cut you out of this chair. Go leave me here. Just don't fuck with my operation.
Yeah. He's like, as long as I can be as bad mentally as I want to be and drink as much as I want, which, you know, part of the Backrooms games is they all have a sanity meter thing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's part of the lore. The longer you stay in the Backrooms, the more insane you go.
Exactly. So, yeah, and that tracks. So he cuts her free, but right before she's about to be able to leave, the woman, the Uncanny Valley woman who was standing behind Clark, she starts to hear a sound happening in the hallways next to them and starts freaking out and runs to a corner and just kind of keeps going.
She NPC runs
and glitches into the corner.
NPC is a non-playable, for non-gamers, NPC is a non-playable character. They often act erratically and unlike humans, including not knowing that a wall is a wall, and they will run infinitely towards a wall that they are stuck on.
An NPC is we then see the new evolved version of the entity in the Backrooms. It is no longer just a all shadowy figure. It is a massive 8-foot tall version of Clark dressed as Captain Clark, the name of his furniture store, mascot. So, and this, it's hard to explain, but it was also why a big portion of this final act does not work. This is a very goofy creature design that is not scary in the slightest. It's very, very silly, goofy, funny, not scary. And this big version of Clark dressed in the pirate costume then picks up Clark and just takes a full ass bite out of his shoulder and starts eating him alive.
Yeah.
Now we get a big chase sequence, kind of like earlier, except it's not VHS camcorder footage.
It doesn't explore any new rooms.
It doesn't.
It just goes into the furniture store reversed.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the furniture store, except the signs are backwards now.
Uh-huh. So it's way less interesting than what we've already seen.
They have one interesting, area.
Yeah, which one are you talking about?
The infinite pit area. So eventually she's running from the thing.
That's right.
And she ends up in this space where there's it's a 4 corners and there's a very small section of coming off of the wall that you can stand on. And then after you get into the wall, you look down, it's an infinite abyss. And it's just you can see levels of the Backrooms.
Yeah, it looks like, it reminds me of, I was going to say favelas, but it's not even favelas. It actually reminds me more of the walls of Kowloon City and how it's just so high up, this high rise, all compact apartments that imagine if there was a hollowness to the middle of them. Yeah. So this one really hit one of my fears, which is fear of heights. This one really worked in that way, in my opinion.
Because the only way she can escape is there's a very narrow staircase that goes up to a tiny door, just enough for you to fit your body through vertically. Uh-huh. And the staircase has no railing. Yeah. So she hurt her knee. Mm-hmm. So she's crawling up it. That part was I was okay, this room is creative. I still liked the other rooms a little bit more because this room is very it's still yellow. It's still the yellow Backrooms. You know what I'm saying? There's a part of that in one of the games that we play that you walk through and it looks like an infinite abyss. And so you have to balance. You have to play a mini game to balance. But then if you fall through it, you just fall to the next level. So it's not like that creative. But anyways.
Yeah, so she eventually escapes through this little door at the top of the staircase, which leads to this alternate version of the furniture store. And this is the final kind of showdown between her and this entity that is chasing her. It ends in her getting pinned down by this entity and her using we've been shown a bunch of times in her memory sequences, that her and her mom put their hands in the cement as they were building their home, I guess. And she has saved her little handprint from back then.
And when she went to look for Clark, she put this in her pocket.
Yeah. Don't really get
why did she do that? That makes zero sense to me.
That's why they call it Chekhov's cement handprint.
Yeah, because you see that in the beginning of the movie and you go, obviously, if I'm leaving the house to look for my deranged mental patient, I'm definitely bringing my cement handprint of my own hand when I was a kid from my childhood home that was destroyed, that I have a lot of trauma. I'm bringing that with me.
Yeah, phone, keys, wallet, cement cut out of the handprint that I put in when they were building our home as a child.
Which is not comfortable to fit in my pocket, by the way.
Chapstick. I'm in Colorado. Local, we love our local humor here. Put on sunscreen before you go outside. She pulls that out and smashes him with it over and over and over to buy herself enough time. Eventually it breaks. Hard-headed ass entity, bruh. And then she gets enough time to escape. She has to escape through a very, very narrow, like walls closing in type of corridor. So this kind of works if you're claustrophobic. Eventually, as she gets towards the very end, she can see what looks like almost like, imagine the Toy Story sky print, which is a very big part of the Backrooms lore as well, as rooms like that. She sees, at the very end, wait a minute, there's like this sky with really white clouds, very blue sky. But as she gets closer, eventually a guy with a hazmat suit pops up and sprays her with this like sleeping gas. Now,
it looks like a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, a fire extinguisher. Eventually, she wakes up from this. They do this fake. Loki felt like it ended here. Remember this? Because they spray her with it, and it cuts to black and just shows an X-ray.
Yeah.
And it felt like the title was about to be directed by...
I thought it was, and I was okay with that.
Honestly, same. I was like,
kind of ready for the movie to end.
Yeah, because it was a little exhausting to this point. What happens is we get... we've been shown that Mark Duplass, throughout this movie, he has like 2 scenes or so where it shows that he's one of the people in the lab coats watching footage of these people in the back rooms. So we know that he works for whatever company is overseeing this. He then sits down with her in an interview room and he's like, hey, did you find this? How did you find this place? And she's like, get me out of here. Which honestly is me. Hey, fucking let me leave immediately.
She's like, where am I? He's like, answer some questions. She goes, okay, where the fuck am I?
You answer questions, motherfucker. So it's this interrogation scene where he's asking her, how did you find this place? Did you find this place because of this guy? And is showing security footage of Clark. And she's very, very non-compliant, rightfully so, and is like, get me the fuck out of here. And he's like, look, like, what are you guys? Blah, blah, blah. Can you please explain something to me? He goes, look, we're an MRI company. Well, we used to be. We were an MRI company, but then we started making and so they start dipping their toes
into the smile plot.
Of, well, the Backrooms all started because we're async and we made this, blah, blah, blah. It starts tiptoeing into that a little bit. But actually what happens is we get the ending. So there are some people who are probably going to feel robbed by this. They're going to feel very, very robbed by this ending. It totally worked for me. But I can see people that want that, for whatever reason, want an explanation of how the Backrooms got started and what this company is and how they did it.
What is the One Wish Willow and obsession? And how did they make them? And who was the Curry Barker's character? Is there a demon possession?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Who cares? Yeah, that's how we feel. But again, so some people are going to feel very robbed because midway through this conversation, she starts kind of losing. She doesn't even start replying to him, and she's looking around, and she's starting to she starts seeing the debris and like rubble of her old home in one of these rooms in the back rooms. And so we get this little, almost like a montage all of a sudden of showing different rooms in the back rooms having different versions of some of her memories. So it has a different version of the rubble. It has a different version of her living room setup from when she was a child. And it's this very silent part of the film where it just cuts to the next scene. It's all a different room with different misrepresented memories until eventually we get then a shot of her sitting in the exact same interview room that she has been in, except it's different. There is no Mark Duplass. It is just empty yellow room with empty little frames that would be windows that it's the exact same layout as the room she was in though, but none of that is there. And it's like, wait, what? And then we get the final shot of the movie, which is the ending that worked for me, which is they cut from this kind of security footage angle of showing that this room that she's in is actually not what she's imagining it to be. The final shot is now showing the front of her, showing her from the front. And she is sitting in a chair with her body very unnaturally positioned, and her face has split into like 3 or 4, and she is kind of twitching, and it's showing that she is now a prisoner of the back rooms, and her mind has gone crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the final shot of the movie.
And it also kind of shows that like the backrooms are just manifestations of misrememberings of our trauma.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The backrooms are a metaphor for our own trauma and the things that we hate about ourselves and the things that we try to remember and don't remember very well and, whatever. So, because like even the woman that runs towards the wall, the NPC character, from the Christmas room, like they imply that is supposed to be a representation of his wife because they do like this role play sequence where, like they did in therapy in the opening sequence, in the opening scene. And he cuts the scalp off of the woman and puts it onto the therapist as if implying like now it's better because now you have her hair. So it's like, oh, okay, so I think that woman is supposed to be his wife, his ex-wife.
It could be. They show a picture of his ex-wife in the movie, and all I remember is that she had red hair in the photo.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was a little convoluted in that way. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. I just liked the reason that this ending hit so hard for me and worked so well is because it was finally the first time since the laundry room sequence where I felt fear. And it was me going, oh my, like the fear of having fully lost my mind, right? Yeah. This is the Saint Maud ending.
Right.
This is the Saint Maud. It's like very, very mirrored to
like
that.
You're never going to be the same. Yeah.
And it is horrifying to me. The idea of me being a prisoner of my own body and prisoner of my own mind, that is very, very dreadful fear to me. So it worked for me because it scared me and was so abrupt and cut off and this is how the Backrooms were started bullshit.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
The fact that becomes muffled in the background, I was like, oh, a nice little fake out there.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So very intriguing. Now, again, I think some people will hate this ending for that.
Yeah.
They're going to feel robbed.
When I said earlier that the ending redeemed a lot of the movie for me, here's what I mean specifically. They show so many times different shots of this woman and her trauma. Mm-hmm. And her backstory and her motivation for everything that she's doing and why she's doing it. And I was just like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I don't fucking care about the therapist's trauma, her childhood trauma. I don't give a single fuck about this. I don't give a fuck about you mixing the reality of what she remembers being inside the house versus what she was watching her house be destroyed. I don't care at all. And you are spending so much fucking time on this. Mm-hmm. And then the end of the movie showing that the Backrooms is now transforming into her trauma now that Clark is dead.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's why you showed all that. You showed all that so that when you showed them in the Backrooms, now we recognize everything we're seeing. Mm-hmm. Originally, we're seeing a bunch of shit probably from Clark's trauma that we don't know about because he's not the main character, that we don't care until you get to the furniture store But yeah, so I was like, okay, so that redeemed all of that for me, showing her trauma, that it is about misremembering and it is about, that becoming your entire life and fading into the background, but also, you becoming mad, with it, whatever. So
Yeah.
it doesn't redeem the movie entirely. It just redeemed that part of the movie, which to me felt like way too much of the movie. When I was watching it, I was like, this is way too many times we're looking at her fucking.
Yeah, it just felt very shoehorned in.
Yeah.
It just felt like that's my whole it's like the biggest problem of the script to me, maybe, is like forcing this type of story and narrative to be like, and so if we do trauma, then the backrooms are. I'm like, no. The backrooms can be and should be a complete mystery. There should be no, and here's what they do. Here's what the backrooms do. It's like, no.
Here's how to defeat the backrooms.
Yeah, the whole point is that there's no rhyme or reason to this. The whole point is that it's so chaotic and meaningless that it's 100% unpredictable and vast beyond our imagination.
Yeah.
That's the intrigue, to me, that's the intrigue of the backrooms.
Yeah.
So
that you're so removed from the world, that you're completely removed from reality.
Right.
And the further you get into it, the more removed from reality. It's like being lost in space and having no sense of direction of what's north, south, left, what even is left or right anymore.
The disorientation is
a big part of it for me. So like that concept, like if you were how long in floating in space before you go, this is up, this is down. You wouldn't know anymore. It's like that's what the Backrooms kind of does to you. And so to make it like, oh no, the Backrooms is a bunch of stuff we recognize and it's directly tied to reality. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Right. Yeah, it's just a weird
But you
direction.
have to do that for a movie.
And that's why I'm like, I don't know if this works as a feature.
Yeah, because it's just you have, in order to do a feature-length movie, you have to have a narrative. And I think you're right. I don't think any writer, any director could have made the Backrooms have a narrative that I would be happy with, because the point of the Backrooms is that there's no narrative.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, again, it's obviously, I don't need to say this, but I guess I'm getting defensive for whatever reason. But it's, it's our preference. It's our interpretation of the Backrooms, right? So everyone's going to have different things that they like.
There are going to be people out there who say, this is a perfect Backrooms movie.
Yeah.
My love for the Backrooms and the short films and the video games, this is a perfect representation, and nobody but Kane Parsons could have done it.
Someone's going to be like, dude, like when they cut to that shot of like a stop sign in the room, like, dude, it was so creepy. Like someone's going to think that. I'm going to be like, a stop sign fucking creeped you out, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't work for me.
It says putts.
It says pots because it's backwards.
It's literally backwards.
Wait,
so backwards.
If you stop backwards, it's pots. That I've been smoking stop for years, bro.
The giant Captain Clark is a very controversial piece, according to some of the videos I've been seeing online already. Some people saying what I believe, which is it is one of the worst things in the entire movie. It is goofy. It is not scary. It is just completely removed from a horror film. I'm like, this is silly. It's a silly, goofy. This is like worse than the Crooked Man in the fucking Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
Like it's worse than that. I'm like, this is not like there were so many ways you could have gone with this creature if you didn't want to do the Noodle Monster, which is what we all thought it was going to be, was Noodle Monster, which is fine. I mean, like the thing is, the Noodle Monster works in a VHS style. When you then go to this reality and we're doing the Backrooms in real life, 4K, like now the Noodle Monster would look awful. It would look super silly and goofy. And I'm like, and you still went silly goofy with it? Like with this fucking mascot guy? Like I fucking hated it, man. Just looked like fucking Wimby wearing a mascot costume. Like which I know the guy who plays that is actually another like 7'6" dude who's done a lot of movies where he plays characters like that. But yeah, it was fucking bad. It was just bad. I was like, this is your big bad. This is your big scary monster for the whole movie.
The final act of the film.
Yeah.
This is the final big chase scene. This is the moment in the movie. And it's like a big pilot. Like,
And other people were like, this is a perfect representation of everything that Clark hates about himself and his life and, blah, 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 blah. And like, it's actually like really, intricate and part of this story and this plot. But I was like, okay, then why does it eat him? Like, why does his own memory thing eat him? If I don't get it.
Yeah, and this so the flashbacks to Mary's old memories and the dinner table sequence with Clark, where when I was like, oh my God, this might be an Osgood Perkins film. Like, I cannot stress enough how similar the way the shots are framed, this fisheye kind of lens effect, the close-ups, shallow depth of focus. It was so reminiscent of Longlegs and Keeper. Like, so reminiscent of the way that they were structured. And that's why I had to mention it. I was just like, again, I don't want to feed fuel to a fire that is... I just think it's so rude to try and just discredit this kid. I really do. I really think it's so rude.
But I also
I want to be honest.
I go, well, based on what I've seen from Kane Parsons, like, I feel like what he thinks is scary is like uncanny valley type stuff where, you know, creatures with weird movements that don't seem natural and things that could be hiding in the shadows and big liminal spaces that are disorienting. And from what I've seen from Osgood Perkins, he thinks that split faces are scary. He's done split faces in multiple different projects of his. He thinks things that are sticky are scary. So even when they cut these people open and they have like honey on them, I'm like, how many things has he done where something is sticky or gross or goopy or whatever? Like, that's part of the horror element of it. You know, that's you know, the weird part about it. You know, I feel like that's something that he's just done so many times that I was like, oh, this is like, these scary looking creatures is what Osgood Perkins thinks is scary. This isn't what Kane Parsons thinks is scary, at least from my perception. And again, I'm not saying anything is true or is not true. I'm just saying that's what adds a little bit of validity to these rumors for me. And I also don't think that it's a bad thing if he did work with them. I already said this.
Exactly.
But when I was saying that, that's the spoiler version. Now that we can tell you what I'm specifically talking about, it's these characters that have these like split faces going down the middle where it's like hard to look at them. It makes your eyes hurt because it looks like they're glitching in real life. Like, that's in fucking Keeper. Goopy stuff covered in honey is in Keeper. Like,
yeah. It's the same. Yeah, we talked about in our Keeper, our Keeper bashing episode of the one of the monster forms being revealed and it looking like AI generated a little bit. Yeah, you know, it's like that. It's the same thing. It's the movie is just all over the place. These long sequences of like tracking shots of characters walking in a room were the point where I was like, I might nod off, man. I might actually.
Where I started to like really fall asleep is when she finally goes into the back rooms. Mary goes into the back rooms. First of all, 10 minutes for her to get into the room. I'm going to add 5 minutes every time I mention this, by the way. The next time it's going to be 15 minutes before
We're talking 20, guys, 20
minutes. Almost 25 minutes of her standing in the basement before she goes into the back rooms. She goes into the back rooms, and again, exactly what you said. Like, she follows the exact same path that Clark does in the very first sequence in the first act of this movie. We are now in act fucking 3. And we're exploring the beginnings of the backrooms again.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm talking, and she walks past the stop sign. We go, we're supposed to go, oh, that's your stop sign.
Yeah. Like, she sees the cardboard.
She sees the cardboard cutout. We go, yep, that's the cardboard cutout. She sees, oh, now it's slightly different. They put furniture in, the camera's knocked off. And she's just like, and I'm like, dude, fucking end this movie right now, please. Please, God. This movie should have been over. Like, the absolute, like, them going from that VHS sequence and then the monster picks that thing up and they cut and now we're back to her. Worst decision of the movie. Absolute worst decision of the movie. Even if you kept a fucking VHS sequence where you cut that to black, right? And then the next thing we see is more VHS, but now we hear Mary's voice and she's in the back room looking for him. I'd be fine with that. But for you to ramp up and ramp up and ramp up, and you, like you said, running through all these really cool, interesting backrooms rooms where Clark is just like, he's at a point where he's like, I don't give a fuck if I get lost. Like, Clark is like, what I've learned about the backrooms is when it's time to run, just open the next door and just go through it. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's his comfortability with the Backrooms, and that's his lack of fear of these liminal spaces and all the stuff. So he's just willing to go as far into it as he wants, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he can run for a long time and like hide in different places and, you know, try and find his employees again. And, you know, Mary could even enter the Backrooms and start looking for him. And maybe she finds, instead of finding him, she finds the stuff from the very beginning where that guy is exploring, and she finds all this equipment and she starts communicating with them. And then now Mark Duplass's character is using his camera footage system that he set up in the Backrooms to help her find him to save him. And then when she finds him, she actually becomes a good therapist and teaches him what is wrong about his mentality and his life that, you know, gets him to decide to come back to reality, like whatever, something like that. But instead you just start the story over. The story is not fucking Clark and his mental health. The story is not Mary and her fucking... The story is the Backrooms. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
I just really... This is so bold of me to say, because my only real issue with found footage films is the motion sickness I get from long exposure to that. So it's bold of me to say, I think the perfect way to make a Backrooms film is for it to only be that. I only want the VHS recordings.
Now, I will say, you and I have talked about making a found footage movie, but with professional videographers are the characters. Mm-hmm. So when they film it, it's actually mostly stable. It's like imagine if we took like people who make reality shows. Like when you watch a reality show, almost all of that is handheld, you know, shoulder mounted, but you know, handheld. So yeah, I was like, let's make a short film. It's a found footage movie, but it's guys who are like from reality TV, and then they never shake, and it's all perfectly filmed stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
never glitch.
There's a multi-layered joke and bit about that in Nirvana the Band the Show. No spoilers.
Yeah,
there's a whole bit in
Nirvana the Band the Show, the movie.
Nirvana the Band the Show, the movie.
Okay. So I didn't know if you were talking about the show or the movie.
So, yeah, I mean, I just, that would work for me because that was the most intriguing part of this film to me, like by a country mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, what makes it so separate from other horror films right now is, yeah, like how odd of a concept it is in general, right?
Yeah.
An entire horror film based on liminal space. That is genuinely just separating itself naturally from all other horror slop right now, right?
Right.
So it has its own identity, for sure. And that's something worth it. Now, you know, when we talked about liminal spaces and all this stuff in the beginning of the pod, I did want to mention too, this is not a new concept.
Yeah, no, liminal spaces is not brand new.
Yeah.
From the Backrooms. It's kind of combining this 4chan post to liminal space horror.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, you could find examples of liminal horror or even just liminal films going way back. You know, I've never even seen the film, but I've seen so many clips from a movie called Playtime, and it 100% has this vibe, like a liminal vibe. I think even some of the exterior shots in Cat in the Hat are very liminal space.
Kind of.
Like genuinely. Yeah. So it exists in a lot of different ways.
Some of the Saw movies do a bit of liminal space type stuff too, yeah. So yeah, it's I saw the TV Glow had a lot of liminal aspects. So it's just they were trying to lean into, let's make a horror film based on, you know, that's what's really separating themselves is, you know, all the examples I just gave were not horror movies. So it's something worth trying to figure out for sure. I really, really don't think that the ultimate version of a Backrooms lore would be a feature-length film. I still think a video game is a better format for it. Yeah. I still think that an art exhibit is a better format for it. I truly just do. So, and I want to say, like, Mo went and saw this too, and he says he 100% disagrees with that opinion. He's like, no, dude, there is absolutely a way to make this a feature length, and I still believe in it, and I still think there is a way to do it. I just, you know, Mo said straight up he thought this movie was dog shit. Like, right. I think Mo is maybe lower on it than either of us. So, you know, it's an interesting conversation.
This is a moment. This is a moment right now.
Yeah.
Like truly of this premiering, and again, our theater was packed. This is the worst crowd we've had in a long time.
Fucking chatty about nothing.
Chatters.
And then the very, very cliche, oh, heck nah. Hell no.
Yeah.
Or, no. No way. What the heck? Hey, man, shut the fuck up.
Wait, is this the Backrooms? Yeah.
Just, it was everything that goes,
So, and I said what I said to Dave too.
Oh my God. They said that a couple times. Oh my God.
Yeah. So one of the worst theater etiquette examples we've experienced in a very long time. Luckily, our row was pretty good. It was just the rows behind us that were just, God, the whole movie. What I told Dave too was when we were walking out of the theater was I think people who really liked Skinamarink will like this movie. Skinamarink is a film that I tried to watch at its absolute biggest part of its hype when it came out. And motherfucker, I turned that shit off after about 15 damn minutes. I mean, was it 15 minutes? Was it 30 minutes? Who knows? That's what it does to your brain. I could not stand that movie. My favorite review or line of a review I've ever heard about that film was from Watch Skip Plus, and their guest on the show called it Paranormal Inactivity. And I was like, I've never, ever heard a better review than that. I genuinely, so props to them. I thought that was such a funny way to describe that. And again, that's why I'm saying, I think that this movie Backrooms just really tests patience of a viewer. Like I've watched slow films before that have not bored me as much as this.
Saint Maud you brought up Saint Maud earlier. Saint Maud is a movie
Saint Maud is very slow.
You kind of have to get through some of the moments of it. And
dude, as a matter of fact, the movie I watched most recently before Backrooms was Train Dreams.
Right, a movie I said I thought was so boring. I thought it was PC wallpaper of the movie.
Yeah, and that's a slow movie. That is such a slow film.
It's a slow burn.
And
pun intended.
I had a way better time with that movie than this. So it's not even like I can't get into slower cinema. Like I absolutely can. This one just didn't hit for me. I did not like this film. I did not like it. I did not. I did not
like this film. I did not.
I liked the typography, and I liked Boards of Canada. I liked the VHS segments, and I liked the very final shot.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, when I say I think it's still worth going to go see, what I mean is like for what it means in this, like if you like the Backrooms, like it's fine.
Yeah, this almost like
it's hard to say, oh, don't go watch this movie because I'm personally someone who doesn't get scared by liminal spaces. So obviously I'm going to say, yeah, this movie sucked. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you do get scared by that, if that is a fear for you, then yeah, go check this one out. I think that it's like, as far as a liminal space horror, it's not bad for that. But because that is, like, even like as a Backrooms fan, I'm like, why did you guys not spend more time in the Backrooms? Like every minute spent not in the Backrooms is a wasted minute in this movie to me because you open in the Backrooms.
True.
So, like, how many times do we go to the Backrooms and then we cut away to the Backrooms and then spend a whole bunch of time getting back to the Backrooms? Like, that's what's fucking boring about the movie to me. So, yeah, like, all these sequences, even, like, and yeah, it's good acting in the scene where they're, Clark has kidnapped his therapist and she actually is like, okay, you're not client to patient now, just person to person, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, you are the fucking problem and you will never admit it, whatever. Like, that good acting, decent, like dialogue, but it's just like, this is a scene to pay off something I didn't care about.
Yeah, it's like this. Why is this scene in this movie? yeah.
I'm just like, this scene is this is the payoff to the plot of his recovery from mental health. I don't care about him or his mental health.
We don't care exactly. Like the whole film relying upon this theme of these characters' traumas. is the least. We're here. The movie's called Backrooms, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
if I have one more sequence of her voiceover of her self-help tape books while he's just working in the store, I'm gonna go to the fucking Backrooms and lose my goddamn mind. Like, anyways, we've talked about this movie pretty extensively, especially because
too long.
We did Daniel's rundown, his walk down, as I like to call it, which is fine because it does talk. He did talk about a lot of the sequences I would have talked about. And I agree with a lot of what you said too. Especially your point about it ramps up and then goes away from what was good. Mm-hmm. That's the worst part about the movie. My least favorite part of this movie is, everything that doesn't happen in the Backrooms.
Yeah.
Every scene, every piece of dialogue outside of the Backrooms is the worst part of the movie to me. My favorite part of this movie are the VHS sequences. I thought if they had continued to do that for longer, it would have been better. I think if this was a VHS sequence, just a short film from VHS, it would have been better.
Yeah, we had said we were kind of mulling over what we were thinking as we were leaving the theater, and that's something we both really, really felt and agreed upon was, can you imagine if they spliced together a bunch of these sequences of camcorder footage and it was just a segment of a VHS film? Yeah. And we were like, and then it would give us more content to do for the Spooktacular. So please do that. The idea of that.
It's just funny because we go, this is better as a short film, and it's based off of short films.
Yeah.
Like, that's the funny part about it.
Yeah.
But, I understand trying it. I understand, hey, let's take this huge cultural, piece of horror, genre and make a feature-length movie out of it. And let's get the guy who really popularized it to do it. Mm-hmm. I understand that. I would be okay with seeing a Kane Parsons non-Backrooms thing.
Sure.
Because this was it was filmed well in this movie. It was, one person's performance was just not very good to me. I hated the two kids. And I know at least one of them is a good actress and can do really well. But they just felt so strange to me. Like caricatures of young people.
Yeah, my least favorite part of the movie was the pacing, and that goes into how they structured the story. The pacing of the film is awful. Awful, awful, awful. My favorite part of the movie was the laundry room eventually chase sequence. I thought that was the most engaging part of the film, most exciting part of the film. That worked.
By the way, very, very close second least favorite part of this movie for me was Captain Clark. I think that was atrociously bad.
Yeah, the monster design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your big bad to be not even remotely scary is
that's
fucking
tough.
awful.
That
is it lives inside bad. It lives inside revealing the monster and it wasn't scary at all. That was...
It's such a flip side of the coin of the Smile 1 of us going... Dude, this film fucking sucks. Donkey. Whoa, that's actually a pretty scary monster.
Yeah.
All right, 3 out of 10. You know what I mean? So it's such a flip side of that. Yeah, it's tough. And when it comes to my pacing, let me tell you something. With how unbelievably attracted I am to Renate Reinsve, I'll watch her walk around anywhere. I don't fucking care. I'm in. So for you to lose my interest that's how bad the pacing is of just watching her, that beautiful, beautiful woman walk around. Sorry, man, you lost me. That's a testament. So I don't know, man. This one's it's a little difficult to score. But I'm going to go 4 out of 10.
Wow. Fuck you. No, I'm what's interesting is I'm really leaning 3.5.
Yeah.
And I think I am going to give it a 3.5.
Can I admit something?
What's up?
I'm letting previous scores of films influence me giving it a 4.
I just think that 4 is too close to 5 for me. I think this movie is worse than average. It is noticeably worse than average.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for the review, but we are going to go into part 2. Now, I will preface this is not going to be a traditional part 2 because we gave you guys a lot of lore about this movie in spoiler-free talk. We talked quite extensively about outside of the movie perspectives and the whole lore and history of the Backrooms. You guys got plenty of fucking trivia. All right, we're done. We're going to go play some games.
Let's play some games.
All right, welcome back to part 2.
AKA the after party.
Today it actually is the after party.
Woohoo! Because it's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games.
Shout out to my boy Schmatt.
Yes.
Schmatt, one of the viewers who reached out, says, hey, I like the games in part 2. Please keep doing that. So, hey.
So, fuck it. We're doing it.
Fuck it. We're doing it.
We're doing it live. We're doing it
talking about. Okay, we have some brand new games today. Brand new games. So,
Dan's Game Corner.
We are going to start with a new game. This is just called Actor, Movie, Actor. That's what I'm calling it. We're doing it live. What is going to happen is we're going to play a best of 3. We're going to switch off who starts, right? One of us has to name a movie. The next person then has to name an actor from that movie. And then it goes back to the other person who has to name a movie that the actor was just named in. Let's give an example. Ryan Gosling.
Lars and the Real Girl.
Fuck. Haven't seen that since like 2009. So there we go.
Game over.
That's how you play.
Or, if I were to go Project Hail Mary.
Ryan Gosling.
Lars and the Real Girl.
Fuck you again. So
got him again.
So that's how we're going to play. All right. So I'll go ahead and start. So the winner is the one who wins the best of 3 series. How do you lose? By not being able to name the next actor or movie. So I'll start with a film. Okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go. We'll start with a film, right?
You start with a film.
Okay.
That's what you said you wanted to do. You have to do that. You have to do that.
All right. Playing a dangerous game here. The Avengers.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oppenheimer.
Cillian Murphy.
Red Eye.
Rachel McAdams.
I was about to say, I'm forgetting the name of the movie. Mean Girls.
Lindsay Lohan.
The Parent Trap.
Ah, you got it there.
Let's go. The Parent Trap. Okie doke.
All right, it's my turn.
It's your turn to start. Well, yeah, you can start, but we need to switch categories. So
I can't start with Fritz Lang's 1931 M?
Well, yeah, you'll be the movie person this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have to start with a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. How can I stump you on the first
Don't be a dick.
movie? How do I win in the first
Rear window
round? Movie. Let's go with Hereditary.
Okay, Hereditary. Okay. Toni Collette.
Sixth Sense.
Haley Joel Osment.
AI, artificial intelligence.
Jude Law.
The Holiday.
Jack Black.
School of Rock.
Miranda Cosgrove.
Drake and Josh the movie.
Is that real?
I don't know. That sounds right though.
It's called Drake and Josh Go Hollywood the movie. It is from 2006. I'll count it.
Is she in it?
Well, I would assume so. Let's see. Yeah, she's in it.
Let's go!
All right, we'll just count it as a W. I like that.
David wins.
That was creative. You deserve the win. All right. But it also means we can play a third round. All right, here we go.
Okay. All right.
So
tiebreaker. You start
this
with
time,
a movie.
you'll start with an actor.
I will start with an actor.
There we go.
Okay, let's go Gary Oldman.
The Dark Knight.
Christian Bale.
I'm not going to fuck you on this. I could.
Okay, I know.
But I want to keep this a little fun. American Hustle.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Mother.
Javier Bardem.
No Country for Old Men.
Josh Brolin.
Weapons.
Fuck, I forget her name. Oh, Garland. No.
You're so close, man.
Julia. Garland. No. Garner.
Julia Garner.
Julia Garner. Julia Garner.
You were so close that I'm just like, yeah, why not?
Previously married to Mark Foster.
Currently married to.
Currently. I thought, okay, never mind.
Okay, Julia Garner. Wolfman.
All right, you win that because I can't remember anyone else from the movie.
Christopher Abbott.
Christopher Abbott, that's right. And we talked about him on the, God damn it.
So you're a very, like, you can see the person's face, but the name, so like that's why it makes that game interesting. That's fun.
We had talked about, I told Daniel I completely forgot Julia Garner's name like recently. That's right. So he knew I was going to forget her name again.
Yeah.
Of course. But yeah. All right, Dan wins. He's the king of the movie actor movie.
That's right. The first installment I now have the crown for. We'll see if he can take it away from me later in the series of Wild Dream Podcast. Okay, speaking of brand new games, this is a brand new game that we have not played on the pod before, but we're gonna do it today. We're gonna do 2 rounds of this. This game is called Guess the Movie from the Letterboxd Review. I am going to read a Letterboxd review for a film, and you have to guess the film in question from the review itself.
And if I don't get it, you'll continue to read reviews until either I give up or
some that like give it totally away. Yeah. So it's going to be pretty vague to start. So here we go. I have a film with some reviews right here.
A film with reviews.
Here we go. 3.5 stars. Review says, something in this movie happens. Some guy who just loves going absolutely crazy on the cello. That's my cue.
Inception.
It is not Inception. Let's see. All right. 5 stars. When your circle is small, but y'all all crazy.
Not for real, though. Bodies, bodies, bodies.
It is not Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Clock it.
All right. This one will not help at all. I should have started with this one. It's fine. 5 stars, which they have a star-based rating, so that's a perfect score. 5 stars. Pretty good, but not as good as Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh. What does this have to do with Five Nights at Freddy's?
Literally nothing, but when you realize the movie, you're going to be like, fuck that, whoever wrote that.
Okay. Not as good. So they're saying this is 5 stars, but worse than Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah.
I don't know. Paranormal Activity 2.
It's not Paranormal Activity 2. It's not Paranormal Activity 2.
The Devil Made Me Do It.
Go.
Wait, no, that's a different series.
Yeah, how many listeners are like, I might know this? I'd be really shocked if any of them knew. All right, here we go. This one's a little bit more because it's more to the plot. Here we go. So 4 stars. Someone said, Marriage Story is a lot more intense than I remembered.
Okay. Well, now I'm thinking that it either has Scarlett Johansson or what's his face? Or is this the drama?
Good guess. It is not the drama.
All right, that's also a Marriage Story, and it has a small crew, and they all crazy.
So we're in the actual kind of helpful one-liner reviews here. So here's the next one. This happened to me the last time that I booked a hotel on Trivago.
Is this Hokum?
It is not Hokum.
Oh my gosh.
Good guess.
That's about a hotel.
So just to recap, to kind of get a grasp on information we've been given, right?
Okay.
We know that
Someone goes crazy on cello, and the guy goes, that's my cue.
We know that so it's probably referring to the score.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. We know that there's a couple, right?
Yes.
Because they said Marriage Story. We know it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we got so far. Let's see if I can find you another good one.
Is it Insidious?
It is not Insidious.
Damn. That had an intense score.
How about this? Someone said, so here we go. 5 stars. Someone said, yearly rewatch of the greatest horror movie of all time.
Jesus. So the yearly, meaning they go back and watch it every year. But this movie came out after Five Nights at Freddy's. No, before Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay. The greatest horror movie of all time. Is that what you said?
Yeah, someone said the greatest yearly rewatch of the greatest horror movie of all time. I think that's good because just to help you out a little bit here, that means this movie's been out for a long time. Oh, we're watching this every year.
Oh, okay. And it's about a couple, or has a couple in it.
And someone said, this happened to me once when I booked a hotel on Trivago.
Is it The Shining?
It's The Shining.
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
The Shining.
The Shining was my second guess after that clue, but anyways.
Yeah, someone said, not as good as Five Nights at Freddy's.
Fucking insane take, by the way.
Yeah.
You hope that's satire.
So how many listeners got that one before we did? How many listeners got it? Let me know.
Before Dave's dumbass.
Before Dave was able to get it.
Fat, ugly, dumb, piece of shit. We hate him.
I really don't.
Is that what you guys think?
I don't remember.
You guys hate me?
That's you in the Backrooms.
Do you guys hate me? Do you guys think I'm annoying? You can tell me.
All right, Dave, are you ready for the second and final round of our game today?
Second and final round. Cue it up. Go.
All right. 4.5 stars. Fuck. I mean, the goal is to start as vague as possible.
Right. So heartbreaking movie. I'm going to go Blue Valentine.
Good guess. It is not Blue Valentine. 4 stars. I felt like I was inside of a washing machine.
Okay, so it shakes a lot, I'm assuming. Or the movie spins a lot. What movie spins a lot? Is this Cloverfield?
It is not Cloverfield. I'll get a little more context here. Those are both very vague. Here we go. 5 stars. I never want to see this again. It's perfect. I hate you.
Irreversible?
It's Irreversible! Let's go!
That movie is a very shaky movie, too. I was like, no way he's putting that shit in there. This is a perfect movie. I never want to see it again. That's a very good review of that.
Yeah.
Because I think you could argue that movie has no flaws, really. But I wouldn't know because I will never rewatch that movie.
It's a tough watch. Yeah. Great. Dude, good round, bro. That was really, really good. That's a really, really fun game. I'm both excited and nervous to be on the other end of that game because I'm going to be like, wait, what the fuck? And then it'll be like, oh, you know. Yeah. That's a really fun one, though. I hope that you guys also thought it was fun, all you listeners. In fact, I think Dave has a message for you guys about if you want to get involved in the conversation.
If you guys want to get involved in the conversation, let us know what you thought of this movie. If you went to go see it, let us know what you thought of this episode. If you listened all the way through, you can reach us at Wild Dream Pod on Instagram and TikTok. You can also come and watch us stream. If you want to come and watch us stream video games and you want to know my opinions on The Sheep Detective or Mortal Kombat 2, you can come and ask me. Even if Daniel is streaming and I am in the chat, you can ask me in the chat and I will tell you in the chat how I felt about both of those movies.
That's right.
Hell, I'll hop into Discord while Daniel's playing a game without me and tell you guys what I thought of Mortal Kombat 2. I don't care. But that's a great place to get those types of conversations going. We are always open AMA in the Twitch channel. We are at Wild Dream Stream on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But until next time, we love you. We kiss you. In the back rooms.
Wait, what?